Man, who cares, bro? I'm just gonna look at you.
This is my room's a mess. Welcome back to the messy room. My name is Jason. I'm with my brother Vic.
My name is Victor. You already know the wave, ladies and
Did
gentlemen.
you say Vicky?
Victor.
Oh,
You gotta relax. Let me help you out, bro.
Hey, yo, we're back better than ever because we're always getting better. Another week, back in the messy room.
Back in the messy room, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, I always say it, week in, week out. We're trying to bring you nothing but the fire ass guests.
Yo, last one was a hit, bro.
Last one was crazy.
I felt it.
Oh, shout out to Johan. Shout out that dude was a force. But this week, ladies and gentlemen, we got an amazing guest. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, this guy's earned my respect. This guy's earned my respect. Oh man, I gotta behave this episode, ladies and gentlemen. He's my manager. Oh man, at the Western Front Cannabis Dispensary in Chelsea, Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen, 121 Webster Ave. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, he sells the weed. Ladies and gentlemen, he got bars. He goes by the name Bobby Dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. This man sells cars. This man's doing it all. Multiple streams of income. He got crazy ass fucking information to say. He's a fucking beast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just excited, man. I'm nervous too. No bullshit. He's my, you know what I mean? I get the interview wrong. He's like, yeah, out the door, brother. You know what I mean? I'm working at fucking Walmart or something. Ladies and gentlemen, I got none but absolute honor of introducing my guy, Bobby Boyd. What's good, bro?
What up?
Yo, bro.
What's
Oh,
up,
man.
bro? Hey, yo,
What up?
How was the intro, bro?
That was the intro, bro.
I appreciate that, man. I was getting pumped up, man.
Hey,
appreciate you, bro.
And thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate the platform. You guys are doing a hell of a job, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yo, I know I give you headaches, bro. All I do is talk about the podcast, bro. Whenever I'm at work, bro, he's like, yo, you got to do this. Yo, real quick. Yo, you think I should like mix up this? You think I should do this in the podcast? Yo, you know what I mean? Always talking about the pod, bro.
No, but it's that hustle, man. That hustle energy, like you guys are actually, enterprising right now. Yeah. So having the podcast out here, reaching out to people, having conversations and, having that dialogue with people about, things that you probably usually don't get to have. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man.
Man. I just want to say thank you, bro. Like, yo, I said the intro, like, I respect you a lot, man. I respect you a lot for a lot of reasons, bro. Like, yo, bro, I just want to say I thank you, bro. You believe in my dream, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I've had jobs where like my manager's just chilling, bro, and he's like, you know what I mean? I've had like jobs where like the manager just tells me what to do, and that's it. That's the relationship, bro. Nice, and to have like my manager, bro, the person I work for just like encourage me to do like my dream, bro. When like a lot of people think like, yo, this dude's doing a podcast. That's like foolish, bro. That's what a lot of people would think, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for you to be like, yo, you got to keep hustling, bro. You got to keep grinding. Oh, you should do this. Like giving me ideas and shit. I just thank you, bro. That means
man. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to like water and provide sunlight to each and everybody else, right? So holding on to knowledge does nobody any good, man. So the whole I think opportunity of life right now is to always be trying to give back in some kind of way, and so like I've been down the road and you're probably going to be coming down that road at some point, and the story's going to be a little bit different, but the rules are the same. So it's like, hey, if I can lend you a jewel that helps that road be a little bit more smoother, then so be it. And I think that's what we all here for.
I appreciate that, man, for real.
Yeah,
I love that, bro.
I love that for real. Now another thing, bro, is like, bro, I just want real quick, bro. You're my manager, but I want to talk about like your managing skills, bro. I feel like, bro, you're nasty at what you do, bro. Like, no bullshit, bro. You got like a crazy balance, like, bro. Like, I respect you as a manager. Where like, I don't feel like I have the right to step over you. Like, I know obviously you're the boss. Like, I got to do what you say, but you also have that balance where like, bro, you like you tell me what to do, but you're not like you're not mean about it, but you're mad cool, and I feel like I come up to you and talk to you about whatever. Is that a balance that you've always had, or did you learn that along the way?
Yeah, man. That's a great question, because that's nothing I had, bro. As a young man growing up, I lived in Boston, I was born in the South End, but I lived in Philly and I lived in New Jersey. So I dealt with a lot growing up. I was homeless a lot of my youth, so I was living on the streets with my mom and 4 kids. We was breaking into abandoned buildings, trying to figure out life, But then, growing up without a father, like I never really had like the jewels passed down to me.
Yeah.
You know, people telling me things that I should be aware of. So I was kind of hothead in that regard. So that's not a talent that I always had. It's something that I had to cultivate. And what I tell the managers now, which you're not privy to, but I have the managers meeting at the Western Front, and I tell them, I said, listen, I used to manage horribly. You know, I used to be like a horrible manager because, you know, especially when I was in the car business, you know, you had to have a thick skin because these people would talk to you and tell you, you know, they would swear at you, cuss at you, demean you, whatever the case is, and you just have to go out there and get your bread. So when I finally got into a manager's role there, I led the same way. And then it hit me one day. I was like, I'm not really getting the productivity out of my team the way I need to. And I called a managers meeting, like an emergency staff meeting. And I apologized to my entire staff.
Wow.
And I told them, I said, you know what? I inherited a management style that's not my own. And from that day on, I went and changed it. So I started inspiring people, trying to pour into them, find out where they might not have, you know, solid ground, and provide solid ground for them. And, you know, where they might be weak, I tried to strengthen them up in those areas so that when I asked them to do something, it wasn't like I was like really asking. It was like, yo, I want to do that for him. You know, so I kind of got that response out of them because I believed in them enough to get the job done. I never micromanaged them. I just like, yo, I need this done. And if you can get it done, we solid. And that kind of became something that I learned out of the car business, man. So to your point, I was never that guy all the time. You know, that's something that I had to grow into that. Yeah.
That's crazy because I think we had a conversation one time about managers, how it's like you're right. Sometimes, like, you know, you inspire them to want to work for you by just being nice to them, like just, you know, supporting them in any way they need.
Right.
And when you do the opposite, it kind of like has that opposite effect where nobody's gonna want to do shit. They're just gonna be like, nah, bro, I don't even want to, you know, fuck with you, this dude, like whatever. And when you tell them something, it feels like, you know, it's like coming from the devil or some shit.
Yeah.
So I think that's crazy because like I was always talking like, you know, it's not just with management, it's with just people in general. You know, it's just trying to be that, yo, I support you. I want to see you be the best version of yourself, and you know, you just interact with them like that. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
And it's a test for all of us because we have past experiences, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm new to somebody and I'm coming at them a certain way, they have to understand my temperament because I might be cool to some, but I might come off harsh to others because I'm very direct. I'm not mixing words. Like if I need something done, I'm telling you what I need done. But at the end of the day, you know, it's all because there's a common goal at hand, especially if you're working with me or you know, we're on the same team, there's a common goal at hand. So I'm not saying it to, you know, for it to be a detriment to you. You know, I'm saying it because for the betterment of what we're doing, because when you sign on to work with me or if you know, on my team, that means you believe in what we're doing. Right. And so I expect that commitment because I'm gonna pay you your paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So I'm committing to you. So I need you to commit to me. So I think the verbiage, the understanding, like especially to Vic's point, we work in the dispensary, is we had to, you know, hire I don't want to say children, but young men and women that had priors, that had past convictions, that had, you know, troubled past that might have been considered like throwaways, you know what I'm saying, to some people. And that was part of our social justice, you know, commitment. And our commitment with the Chelsea is that we were going to hire residents that might not be considered the most desirable people. But we love these people. We brought them in, we welcomed them with open arms, we gave them the training. These people are aspiring. We pay them more than a living wage at $18 an hour. So it's like, you know, and we're a Black-owned company, and that's not that easy to do, you know, especially when people have different views on how companies should run. You know, we had to raise a lot of our capital from communities of color, where the income per capita is a lot less. You know, so it was a long road for us to get to where we at. But we opened a beautiful, you know, destination. We provide some of the best, you know, cannabis from some of the best cultivators in Massachusetts. And we just try to provide people with a great opportunity, you know. So all of that is, you know, something that we truly believe in, you know, and giving everybody opportunities, you know, not just Vic, you know, like when he says we even promoted, you know, trying to get him to do a podcast in the store, you know, get him to do, you know, we want everybody we want to encourage everybody. There's people in there that have fashion and other things that they might have that they're very passionate about. And we just want to encourage everybody to live your dreams. You know, we'll invest in your dreams, just invest in ours too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Just through my hiring process and just working there, you know what I mean? Like every day, I definitely agree. Cause like, you know my backstory. I came from the bank, bro. I hated my fucking life. I didn't want to work there. You know that story, bro.
I've heard it a million
yeah,
times,
you heard it a million times, right? And it was like, so I remember I was kind of like I was kind of iffy, bro. Like I was like, man, do I want to like that? Cause that's like a whole different side change. That's like a whole different change. You know what I mean? Working in finance, bro. You barely talk to people. You're always with headphones on. You're always on the computer. Everything's on the chat. You know what I mean? To interacting with people, and I'm selling a whole different product. It's a whole new industry. And I was kind of iffy, like, man, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, whatever. And then through the interview with Dennis, he's the CEO, right?
CEO,
yeah. Through our CEO and talking with Cassandra, who's a store manager, they interviewed me, and I believed in the vision, like, bro, especially like, I'm a man from Chelsea, and growing up in Chelsea, I felt like, there's this small city mentality that goes around the city where people feel like they don't deserve certain things, this and that. And for you guys to advocate, especially for city I love so much, saying like, yo, we're trying to hire, Chelsea residents and this and that. We're making that a big goal of ours. That was one thing that, like, I was like, that convinced me. And then I saw the dream, like, yo, Dennis was talking to me, and I'm gonna use your words, bro. Like, yo, I saw it in his eyes. You know what I mean? I saw it in Dennis's eyes. He told me his dream, like, yo, it's gonna be a Black-owned business, and it's gonna grow, and it's gonna cherish, and this and that. And I saw it, and I was like, man, everything that I was complaining about at the bank, like, yo, I'm in corporate America, no one cares about me. I'm on a fucking desk, bro. They could care less. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I had an issue, I had to go through like some HR team that's like fucking stationed in India. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And like, just to like go to a whole opposite thing, I was like, man, there was like something within me, like, where I was like, nah, this is where I gotta be, bro. Like, it's a Black-owned business. They're promoting, like the minority community, the community that I'm trying to, grow and, shine light on. And I was like, yo, let's do it. Fuck it. And I took that leap of faith, and I enjoy my time there. It's been fucking awesome, bro.
Man, it's dope. I mean, people come by the store. We're very proud of it. We're, building the plane while we're flying it, but, it's not where we want it, like, completely right now. But the store is getting to a point, we have a beautiful art gallery in there. And, we want to create like a little sneaker museum in there. We got 11,000 square feet. So we got a lot of room to play with, and hopefully consumption comes down the road where, if consumption becomes an opportunity, we have a lot of space to build out. And, because people are going to need somewhere to smoke. It's like, you can't tell people, hey, listen, you can buy it, but you can't smoke outside. Well, your landlord says you can't smoke in your house. Okay, so where the hell do I get to smoke this stuff, man? It's like, at some point it has to make sense. So like, you can go and enjoy a beer at a bar, if, at some point there were cigar bars, and there might still be some around. So it's going to make sense. I mean, they're already doing consumption, I believe, out in California. So it's a natural progression. And I hope that we'll eventually get to that point, because I think it's just going to be a safer place for people to indulge, be around like-minded people, chill. There's a lot of creative minds in that space as well. Take some of the hocus pocus away from cannabis, because I think there's a lot of hocus pocus around it. There's a lot of medicinal properties and things that really help people. And that education has to happen, so we're going to try to do our part in increasing that awareness around that education, and also continue our social justice efforts and make sure that we can have a huge impact on the communities that our stores are in.
Definitely. Is that like the overall plan? Is that, or is there like a greater plan? Like, what's the 5-year, 10-year plan of like the Western Front?
World domination. No, I think the overall plan is just to, develop a brand, which Mr. Gilmore had a great, he did a great job already. Western Front, if you guys might or might not know, 50 years, 50 years was
Previous
a Western reggae club in Cambridge on Western Ave.
Yeah.
And that was one of the only places, one of the black liquor licenses in Cambridge, and one of the only places where you saw white and Black people actually getting together. So it was actually, it's a historic place in its own. and so many people came through and performed there, from all different backgrounds. So it's a beautiful way to connect people. And, seeing it revisited now in Chelsea, like new life being brought into it, it's just like full circle, because I even performed there when I was, in my heyday rapping and stuff. So it's like full circle for me, because like when I performed there, I didn't know Mr. Gilmore at the time. So like it's coming full circle for me, because I'm like, wow, he owned that club, and like, wow, he did all of this, and he's a World War II veteran. He built all of these properties and the financial district and what have. I'm like, wow, I'm like blown away by this man's accomplishments, and to be at 96 opening, potentially 3 dispensaries, not stopping. Dude's just like, he's
chugging to the end.
You said I'm a beast in the beginning, bro. I can't even compete.
Yeah,
I can't even compete.
He got some crazy
numbers, bro. That's like
Super Bowl
legend.
Can't even compete,
legend, bro.
Dude. Yeah, he's like, and I'm grateful every day. I mean, I talk to him every day, and I'm grateful for every day I get to talk to him, because it's like a living legend calling my line every day, and I'm like, yo,
that should be like,
that is.
You know what I'm saying? That's like that's my Jay-Z moment, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I got the GOAT calling me for real every day, like, dropping jewels on me. So that's why it's like nothing for me to drop them on anybody else, because there's a lot of wisdom coming from him, man. 96 years on this planet. He's seen a lot, done a lot.
And not only 96 like on the planet, 96 doing what he did.
Yeah,
is the whole big part of it. Is like, he's lived enough life for like half of like all of us right here, bro.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, and he's still doing it, bro.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just like, and one thing he's taught me is just like, and it might be an Einstein quote, if
that's this guy right here, bro.
Staying in motion. Once you slow down, everything slows down. You know what I'm saying? Once you stop, everything stops. So it's like he's constantly going, reading every day. Like he knows everything. And I'm like amazed at his mind. Like I go visit him and I'm just like, wow, he's like 96. But you think of some folks that might be 70s and you're like, yo, they're losing it a little bit. You know what I mean? He's 96 and sharp as hell, bro. And I think, and maybe this might be something for all of us to keep in mind, is that the day that you slow down is the day you start slowly killing yourself. And I don't think, like, I'm not saying slow down like from a perspective of like you got to keep your foot on the gas, but I mean constantly. I mean, life is a learned experience. You know what I'm saying? So we're all out here learning, and it's not like, I even think like from his perspective, like he knows a lot, but he's still learning. And that's what I find amazing about him, is that he's so open-minded. He's just like, I don't know it all, and he's aware of that. And I think some people aren't aware of that, and that's where the ego gets involved and causes a whole bunch of chaos and destruction and stuff. But he's an amazing soul, man. Beautiful person. Honored to know him. I rep for him 365 all day, every.
Repping right here, bro.
Mr. Marvin. We got him, bro. We got him. You see him in the back over there.
Definitely.
We both read the book. Yeah, and it was just like,
it was an experience, bro.
It was a crazy ass experience, ladies and gentlemen. Like I can't even list the accolades this man has on my fucking fingers. This man is a World War II veteran. You know what I mean? He fought, not like, this is what's crazy. Like everything he's ever done is like super crazy. But all right, he's a World War II veteran, and he's a black man in America in a racist time, right? Like in a segregated time, right? And then he goes down to the South for his basic training, and in his basic training, he finds that not only is he he's dealing with racism with like white people, but he's dealing with like a separation because he's a black man that's educated from the North. So like now black people from the South are they're kind of looking at him like, oh, he's different. You know what I mean? So not only is he fighting those two fights just at home, but now he went out and he was fucking fighting in Normandy and D-Day. Like that shit blew my mind. And I remember calling Jason like, bro, like, you know what I mean?
You can't even amount to how much like you can learn from that experience. Just to like that whole, like I always say that like some of the smartest people I've ever seen are people that they actually had time in fighting in armies or in war and something like that. Like I want to say I think like Einstein signed up, but he couldn't because he was like flat-footed. But like tons and tons, like scientists, some of the best scientists were they fought in wars and everything. And I think it's an experience that's like unequivocal because you can like see literally like you're fighting for peace. You're like that doesn't even make sense. You're fighting for peace. Like it's just like a weird experience. And just the fact that Marvin Gilmore himself had to fight 3 wars at the same time, like it was kind of like that's an experience that,
bro.
That's probably why he
and,
is
and
the
still
way
not be
today.
accepted when you get back.
Yeah, that's I was just about to say that, bro. That shit's crazy. Like, and then so not only are you fighting for the freedom of the people that don't give a fuck about you, right? They could care less if you're alive or dead. Right. You know what I mean? You come back home and you're still in the same shit, bro. And you just fought the good fight for everybody, bro. Yeah. Like, bro, that shit was bro.
So think about it from this perspective. His perspective was, fighting the war. He's about to head back on a ship. And they tell him, like, nah, you're not getting on that ship. That's only for white soldiers. And he had to wait until a tugboat came around where, the back of it's probably dipping in the water and what have you. And they're packed on that boat like sardines trying to get back to shore. So just think about all of those, like after you fight the war, and then you're like, they appreciate us now, only to find out that things aren't different. Only to find out that nothing's changed. So when you get back to the shores and you find out that you're still the N-word and that people look at you based on the color of your skin, you're like, okay, so now what? The fight ain't over. And then he just continued to fight. I mean, starting the first black bank after someone told him that he couldn't get a loan. I mean, that's the most gangster move ever, bro. Like, just think about that from a perspective of you go into a bank and you're like, hey, I'm here to get a loan. And they're like, nah, we're not going to do that for you. And you like, bet. And then you come back and that dude's working in your bank, bro. The same dude. Like, come on, man. That's like we talk about, I mean, Vic, I know we talk about goats and all of that, but just think about that for a second, bro.
Oh.
Like, that's like a checkmate move, bro. Yeah. Like, that's like, and he's been doing that over and over and over again, man. So hats off to him, man. He's an unbelievable human being. Always be somebody that I completely admire in my life. And he means a lot to me, man. So hats off to Mr. Gilmore. Man.
Hats off to Mr. Marvin Gilmore, bro. I do the beast. Yeah. But I think it's crazy because, like, he's 96 now. That he's lived the life that that is the life. Like, that's the life I want to live. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
he's created change.
Created change. He's done so much for himself.
The community.
He's built himself to what he is today. Like, that's the life, right?
Yeah.
So he's your mentor. You say you talk to him every day. Yeah. And you could definitely see a lot of him in you. You have all your endeavors. You're rapping. You're at the dispensary. Selling cars and everything. Like, I could see that vision. So how is like his vision and how he is translated into making you who you are right now, and how you're how you're moving.
Yeah. I just appreciate the wisdom, bro, because like I think the analogy I might have said earlier is just traveling down a road and someone coming after you. I said to my niece one day, like, if there was a fork road and you had to go down, one or the other, would you want a map or would you just want to go? And she said, I would want the map. And I said, then that's me. I said, I've already been there, done that. I said, I know where the potholes and the side streets are at. I know what alleys you shouldn't turn down, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's what Mr. Gilmore is like providing for me. He's that wisdom. And I think, and I'm not trying to attack any generations, but I think generations have kind of thrown their elders away, bro. You know what I'm saying? To a degree where we don't like tap in and say, like, what can I learn from the OGs or the older women that might be out here that have a wealth of knowledge? Is that we just won't sit down and tap in with them because we think they ain't got nothing really informative to drop. But they say less words, but it's more impactful if you're really listening. You know what I'm saying? So like, instead of someone sitting here carrying on a conversation for 10 minutes, they might just drop 2 or 3 bars and you're like, did I miss it? Did I miss it? But if you was listening, you'd be like, yo, damn, that was that was something right there, man. You know what I'm saying? And you could probably apply it because they're not going to waste words on you. It's like the older you get, you don't want to waste time trying to tell somebody something if they ain't really interested.
Yeah,
you're like, yo, I'm gonna drop drop these jewels on you. If you don't pick them up, then I'm gonna pick them up, put them back in my pocket. I ain't got time to waste them on you. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yo, there'll be so many instances where like somebody's asking you for advice, but they don't really want to hear what you got to say back. So I'll be like saying, oh, yo, I think you should do this. Then they go back and do the exact same shit and get into the same situation again. I'm like, yo, what's even the point of me talking, bro, if you're not going to listen?
Nah.
And it's funny. Yeah, go ahead, Vic.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like, you know, the generation I live in, it's like a lot of people, like, I don't know, like, we want to do shit by ourselves, bro. I feel like, I don't know, like the other day, bro, like you were like, yo, you need help counting, and I was like, nah, I think I should be good, and you were like, yo, do you really need help, bro? I was like, yeah, I need help, bro, and you were like, yo, why didn't you just ask, bro? Why didn't you just say so?
Right.
And I was kind of like, yo, I don't even know what that is, bro. That's just in me. I think it's like
but I think it's in all of us to some degree, bro, because you know, I was just having this conversation with my wife earlier because she's at a new job, and you know, the job that she's going to, they have kind of like an kind of antiquated process as far as, you know, logging customers in, and she provided a new way for them to do it more efficiently. And they were like, nah, we don't want to do that. And she was just like kind of thrown back because she's like, this would like speed up the process like light years for you guys. And I just told her, I said, people, you know, will always like, you know, come back later and use your idea. You know what I'm saying? They might not be receptive to it in front of your face. You know, to your point, Jay, they'll ask you for that advice, but they won't really apply it because it's not really their idea. But then they'll come back later and apply it and they say, oh, I thought of this. Yeah. That happened to me a lot in my work career. I would give ideas to my higher ups and they were like, nah, those are bad ideas.
Vic does that to me all the time, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I came up with this fire idea. Yo, I don't want, yo, chill. Yo, too many times where, yo, 3 months later, I'm hearing, yo, bro, I got this fire. I just,
I'll be like,
yo, you heard it from.
That is a fire idea. That's what I say every time. Yo, next time it happens, I'll point it out, bro.
No, you be capping. Yo, cause yo, no bullshit, yo, real quick, bro. I know we're like stepping. This dude thinks he thought of everything, bro. I'll be like, yo, this shit's crazy. Oh yeah, I thought of that already, bro. I'm like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
And if I did, that's not my fault.
Yo, he'll be like, one time I told, bro, I can't think of a specific idea. I told him some crazy ass idea, and then he was like, I thought of that already. I just never said it out loud. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
I do that.
Hey, it don't count. It don't count if you don't say it out loud, bro.
Yo, nah, but he said right. He said sometimes some people just they hear it, but it just goes over the head. Right, they just don't even hear what you say.
Bars, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you don't have enough information to understand what happened. So I'd be like, I'm not gonna say that yet. I'm waiting for the right instance. If you say it before me, you know, you got the puzzle a different way. You got there a different way. That's it. Nah, but I do think it's funny that it's just like some people are like, I don't know. I think I think the thing about, you know, the old people, you know, the new generation thrown with old people. I think it's more that, you know, when you see some of the things that the older generation was doing, like you're just like, what? Why do I even? All right, you know, let's just start over. Like I think it, like, bro, like racism is still an idea today. Like, you know, and those are like 40, 50-year-olds that are, you know, white Americans that are, you know, they're not even that old, right? So and there's still radical idea that, you know, that these people are different because they're a different skin color. Like, how am I ever supposed to respect the generation when an idea was normal for them? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like sometimes I feel like, you know, you got to just pick and choose what you listen to, take it with a grain of salt. And I think the reason why I think, you know, people are like, you know, throw away the older generation, because sometimes it just feels like you got to start from scratch to really get it, you know, good. Because once you start from scratch, you saw every point that you have to get there.
And I agree and disagree.
Right.
You know, I agree that, you know, that might be the view of the new generation. Like, hey, let's just start from scratch. And I do agree with your point about the racism. And there's a lot of things that we could definitely throw away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were some great things, you know, morally. You know, we respected, you know, our elders. You know, we would help an older lady cross the street. carry an older lady's grocery bags up the steps. We were more gentlemen, in that regard. There was more respect for older people.
Chivalry, bro, right?
Yeah, chivalry. You would say yes, ma'am, and no, sir. There was a respect, what I'm saying, when you saw an older man. It wasn't something like, I've seen recent videos where people would knock out or slap old people and stuff like that. That stuff wasn't commonplace, man. You would be considered a coward and probably getting taken out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think that, to your point, there's a lot that we could throw away, but then there was a lot that was lost. You know what I'm saying? The respect for females, I think is a little out of control now, that there's not that much respect for females. And to some degree, some people will say it's a self-inflicted wound with social media and stuff like that. But, I think, there's some things in the past that we could definitely go back to and find good fruit. And while there's some bad fruit there, we don't have to pick that. You know what I mean? Like, we're all human beings. I love Jane Elliott. If you guys ever listen to her, she talks about the human race is the only race. And this color thing is a complete made up concept.
Yeah.
And one of the things I always say is, if people were blind, maybe we treat each other better. You know what I mean? Because the only identifying part that we might be able to figure out that we're different is just that tone and dialect. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he had an accent or she has an accent, what have you. But, people could, go back and pull some of the morals and things that we had, that we held sacred. Honor your mother, honor your father. There's a lot of people out here disrespecting their parents. It's just, in my view, it might sound old school, but in my view, some of that stuff was, something that held families together. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of that stuff held families together, where you would always come back and you like, you know what, I know we had our disagreements or whatever the case may be, but you blood, you family, we good. And then some of that stuff could get definitely thrown in the trash. So, I think I always said that when I went to the dealership, because I went to the dealership at an interesting time when I started selling cars in 2001. It was the old school mentality, the Wild Wild West. They were just taking advantage of people and, lomp you aside your head and taking all the money out your pocket, right? So you were making a windfall at that time. And even years prior to that. But as the internet age kind of came into play, you started seeing a lot more information being available to the client. Yeah. And I would tell, my owners at the time, I'm like, listen, if we can get ahead of this, we can capture this client base. And then some of these dealer principals were so old school that they really didn't see the writing on the wall, So then when, services like TrueCar and Car Gurus and Auto Trader and Cars.com all came in, they were able to appeal to the client's need for transparency, because that wasn't something that was always done. So they ran to it, and the dealers that didn't capitalize on it, they got bought out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not adjusting with the time. So I guess to tie it all in, is there's something good from 2001 and prior from the old school models that you can learn about car selling, but there's also something good in the new that you can take, and you can meld those two together and probably come up with a good solution. Because it's not that anything is bad. It's just that it's just a different perspective. We have a different perspective because earlier on we were taught that race is a thing. That was taught. The only reasons there's still 40 and 50-year-olds walking around like that is because they were taught that. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as we stop telling people about that, like, I don't know if you guys ever see the Morgan Freeman quote when he's like, when will we ever get past this race thing? He says, when you guys stop talking about it.
Oh, I
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things, and I just think, I don't mean to like draw that out too long, but there's definitely some good things that you can take from the past, I think, from a moral perspective, and bring into the new, because I just think people aren't really sure what they have right now. I think it's still going to take some time for people to understand the effects of how this social media validation, everyone's getting, for sure. Like, they don't really understand the effects of this right now and how much depression and stuff this stuff is going to cause. And I think that's what we have to be fearful of, like these worlds that people are getting trapped into and not knowing that it's not reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's the fucking problem is like instant gratification, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like for example, like I don't know, a girl, you know, she bought a fit. She thinks she looks fly. She posts the pic. She's getting mad likes, mad comments, mad dudes in the DMs. She's gonna feel good. Oh, damn, I got all this crazy ass attention. But then all of a sudden, like you post a similar pic, the likes diminish because it's like, you know what I mean? People are like, oh, been there, seen that. So now women got like, oh, like I feel like women like get, you know, they feel like lost because and now they got to do more, and they got to amplify, they got to do more, they got to do this, they got to do that for that like instant gratification, that fucking that feeling of like
dopamine.
the happiness, the dopamine that you're getting, and like, and I feel like that's the world we live in, where everyone's trying to live a life for the next person that they don't give a fuck about. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense. Like, I'm like, for example, I'm trying like if I was in that world, right? Well, I live in the world, but let me fucking get my thoughts together. All right, let's say I posted a flick, right? Fuck, I lost it, bro. Fuck it. It's like
you got it.
I mean, you're talking about instant gratification. Bro.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say?
Nah, I was talking about the girls. Damn, bro. I lost it, bro. I had it all connected, bro, and then all of a sudden.
No, bro, but the instant gratification is something, because, you know, I think that's the most dangerous part in a sense, you know, like having that instant gratification, because let's say, these girls or guys or whomever, you know, are posting this stuff now, and let's say this, let's say this thing changes, right? And it just goes away, or let's say these people just get older, right? And you're no longer that hot thing anymore. Like, does that create depression? Does that, you know, like, what does that create now that you're no longer able to plug into that source for the attention that you used to crave, or the validation you used to get?
I mean, isn't that literally what happens back in the day? It was the same thing, as a woman would be like, oh, I feel old. I don't feel like you're not. And then the guys, you know, not calling you beautiful every day. So they find a guy that does call them beautiful. And all of a sudden, you know, you get fucked over. That shit happens. And it's like, that's that instant gratification would be that person in that case.
Because I think people don't realize how much of a drug that is.
It is, bro. There's too much is trying to feel like I'm good, you know, because some people, not some people, like everyone has to feel something like, yo, I'm good, you know, unless then if you don't feel like I'm good, you're probably depressed, or, you know, you're sad, you're not fulfilled.
But I think those people are feeling depressed and sad anyway, because you got to think at the lengths that they will go to get this validation. Like some people I saw, like, say during the riots, right? Which I think it was like the George Floyd stuff. There were people going up to like boarded up buildings, jumping out the car with a hammer and a nail, like they put up the board, but they were just taking photo ops.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, that's the validation you need. Like you really, like, you need it like that.
It is a weird thing. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I want to go back to what you were saying about you know, respecting the elders, and definitely like I agree with you. Like, there is definitely good things to take, and there's you know, there's a lot of, you know, like you were saying, respecting women, right? Yeah. On the outside, some people might be respecting women, but you see, you know, how many people, you know, the Me Too movement brought out how many people that were not really respecting women on the other side. You know what I mean? So it's tough, right? I just think that it's best. This is why I think it's best to go at it by yourself, because when you go at it by yourself, you're not tainted by, you know, like how many people looked up to Bill Cosby, bro? Like, you know, like he was such a good person and this and crazy, that. Bro. And you find out about what he did, and you're just like, damn, like I believe everything I believed about this. Like, if you look up to him, you're like, well, if everything I believed about this was true and now it's all fake, you know, you lose that vision of what that truly is. But when you know, you do it yourself and you're like, yo, I do this because of you know, because I say I want to do it. That's when you're like, all right, this is the truth, and I can pass this down to whoever I want to do it. It's just tough, bro. I think
there's a difference, like being inspired by somebody versus letting them influence you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be inspired. Like, I think while Bill Cosby's some disgraceful things with women, like his body of work was, you know, pretty decent for what it did at the time. You know, like being a Black doctor on TV with a Black family, that was huge for the Black community. I think there's a lot, you know, like I think if we pulled the veil back on a lot of the people that we put on a pedestal, that a lot of us would be disappointed. You know what I mean? Like a ton of us would be disappointed. So it's like, don't invest or like put so much stock into people. You know what I'm saying? Like you put in stock into people like, yo, man, I hope, you know, like for me, one of my favorite people, Jay-Z, right? I put all the stock in him, right? And then he goes and does something crazy. I'll be like extremely disappointed. I'm like, not Jay, bro, because then I got to listen to Vic talk to me, right? And I'm like, damn, bro, not Jay, right? But we're all human. Yeah. And I'm not excusing anybody's rights or wrongs. I'm not, so please don't get me wrong in that regard. I'm just saying that I think it's irresponsible for us to put too much stock into human because we're all flawed, you know. You know, I don't think any of us are perfect. So, and it's an imperfect road that we're traveling. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to figure out this life. And like you said, Jay, if you travel it alone, yeah, you can probably, there's a lot of pride in that. But I don't think life was meant that way, you know, for us to figure it out all on our own. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why we have good friends and good family, if those people you can trust in and confide in, because somebody might give you a word or a jewel that helps you along the way where you can push yourself harder than you were pushing by yourself. And I that, you know, that's something I truly believe, man. Like, you know, like it's really tough to do a lot on. I can't even say I do everything on my own. You know, I've accomplished a lot in my life, but without the people in my life to support me and love me and care for me, I don't know if I would have the same ammunition to fight these wars that I'm going out here fighting every day, you know?
I definitely agree, bro. I definitely agree. I say it all the time, like, bro, like this dude be like, oh, you're a fucking beast and shit. You know what I mean? He be trying to gas me up. I'm just like, yo, bro, chill, bro. I'm legit no one. I always say I'm no one without like the people around me. Literally, like I'm influenced by everyone around me, and like because I got such great people, they've made me the person I am. You know what I mean? Like I didn't make myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and another thing, like just so it's in my head. The thing about like putting someone on a pedestal, yo, that's facts, bro. I put Kanye West on a pedestal, bro. Right. That's my hero, bro. You know what I mean? So then when he was saying these stupid ass shits, bro, like all these outlandish shit, I was like that shit like hurt me, bro. Like I was like, damn, bro, like not yay, bro.
But that's investing a lot into somebody though, right?
Because yeah, like that, like you know what I mean?
Disappointment becomes larger when you make that investment because you're like, that's somebody, like you said, that's my hero. That's like, that's a high pedestal to be on, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and just think about the disappointment when that person falls, you know, like that. And, you know, and it's not that you want to see someone fall. It's just that, like I said, we're human, we're imperfect beings, you know. You know, I think, you know, we can, you know, everyone's, you know, can throw a stone until you're standing in a glass house, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we just have to be mindful of that and understand that we're all on a road trying to get better and better each day. We can inspire each other, and we don't have to be, you know, like look at the internet now. It's inspiring people all over the world to do so many great things. You guys got a podcast, but I'm sure you go on YouTube, you can find and learn anything. People get inspired with art and other creative, you know, mediums. Yeah. So, you know, we can all touch each other in some kind of way, inspire each other, you know, definitely.
But I feel like a lot of people, it's like I feel like that we could inspire people through like social media and stuff. But I also feel like people are kind of like competing with each other on social media. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like for example, like let's say like I don't know, like for example, Jason goes on vacation, bro. He's taking a whole bunch of flicks. He's putting them on Instagram. I'm at home chilling, like, and I'm like, damn, bro, like this dude's really on vacation. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how people think. Like people are like, damn. Yeah. Like, it's not even like, yo, good for him, bro. He deserves that shit. You know what I mean? This dude's been doing fucking 30-hour days, bro. Whatever. However long you work on your homework, bro.
30 hours. It's not even 30 hours in a day.
All right. You know what I mean, though? You know what I mean, though? You be working nonstop,
he gave you some extra hours, man.
Yeah,
he said you in hyper mode, bro.
I need some extra hours. No bullshit.
Bro, he be working like 22 hours out of the 24, bro. Like he be grinding, bro. You know what I mean? So instead of like thinking like, yo, he deserves that shit. That shit's crazy. Like people be thinking like, nah, bro, like I should be out there, bro. Like, why can't I take a vacation? And that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Social media.
But that's why sometimes you got to move in silence. And I think that's what Jay was saying by doing it alone is because even as I started, you know, to gain things in my life, like I had to like disappear from my family and everybody for a little bit, you know, because even some of my fam was looking at me some kind of way, you know what I'm saying? And I was just on my grind, bro. I wasn't trying to hurt nobody, do nothing. I'm like, yo, I gotta figure out this matrix, bro. Like if there's a way to get money out here and there's a way to live and support myself and support my family, then I want to figure it out. I don't want to be at the bottom of the bucket. I'm already at the bottom of the bucket being homeless, you know what I'm saying, on the street. So it's just like the only other trajectory for me is up. Like and being, I think some of those life lessons, you know, you wish some people had them, but at the same time, you don't wish that on anybody. But I think there's a lot of discipline that gets created in those dark, you know, moments where you're like, you know, back against the wall, you got to figure stuff out, you know, and that builds your character. And I think a lot of kids growing up now, like, you know, you don't have that opportunity. I mean, we talk about it, you know, Vic, at the job, some kids are going to blow opportunities and not take advantage of something. And, you know, some point in their life, they're going to be like, yo, you know, I never had a shot, nothing never happened good for me. And it's like, bro, you had opportunities, you just didn't take them, you know?
What do you say? You always say, everyone has a chance to write their own story, bro.
Facts.
Yeah. It's like, it's just like, man, it's just, I feel like a lot of people just, it's the Gary Vee thing. They're comparing themselves to everything else. Like, how do you teach that? How do you teach someone to give yourself self-worth, bro? And how do you teach that to like truly like who gives a fuck about the rest? Like, who don't compare your level 2 to someone's level 20? You know what I mean? Like, be on your grind, stay consistent, and just be true to yourself. How do you teach that if we live in a world where like everyone wants to be like the next person on Instagram or the next person on Twitter? Like, how do you teach that? You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's where a lot of the like the generation thing comes, because I feel like my generation's flawed because we try to hold these facades that we're trying to keep up on social media and all these things, because we're so like connected, but we're so disconnected at the same time. That's a bar. You know what I mean?
Someone said that before.
Nah,
I think somebody has said that.
All right.
I definitely heard that before.
But you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, because we could see what everyone is doing, but again, we're living alone in the world because we're faking it, bro. Like, the shit that I'm showing you on Instagram is not who I truly am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's the influencer life, right? Like, people are doing it so they can become influencers. There's a lot of money to be made out here. I think social status is a new currency in a way. It's like, you know, the better your social status is, the better opportunity you might have. So people believe in that, you know, but you can't really teach, you really can't teach that, bro. You kind of have to unplug from what it is that's keeping you away from that, because that's more of an inner journey, bro. That's not like connected to all of this crap. You know what I'm saying? I think when most people realize that healing starts internal first, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can find out who you are. Like, when you really know what you want to do, you tap into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys know what you want to do, you know, you tap into it, you know. When you have a drive and a mission, it's just like nothing's really going to turn you away from that. But if you're like scatterbrained and easily influenced, then every time you see a flashing light, you're like a cat, you're going to go jump at it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can't really teach it, man. You just got to unplug from this. Like, occasionally, you know, I use the medium, social media, but occasionally I delete all of it, bro, because it's just like toilet. It's like toilet for me. And I'm like, yo, I just seeing the same thing.
Taking a shit, bro, scrolling.
I think at some point, bro, it's like a wave though, too. Like, people always revert back to the real, bro. Like, this stuff is, you know, flawed, it's fake now, or whatever it's perceived to be. But people are always going to want that authentic, man. You know, they're always going to go back to the real at some point, because you can't fake that, you know? And I think that's what people are always drawn back to.
Bro, this is a tough conversation, bro.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's because
Nah. Because I think it's weird, because this is like, there's mad influence that people don't, you know, that it kind of hurts to see when somebody's gonna be fucked up by some shit and they're not even gonna notice it. I feel bad for the person that is like, there's so many young kids that are gonna have to grow up in this, you know, social media age where they're gonna be influenced by social media and what people say, and then it might even ruin their lives. You know what I mean? They can't be their own person. It's just like, this adds to the influence that's already been in our lives, that already affects us. And now
But
it's
who do we
just like,
hold
now
responsible for that, though?
you're responsible, but
No, but who do you hold responsible for that?
who do you hold responsible
As
for
kids,
what?
we're talking about kids now.
I guess your parents, right?
Yeah, absolutely, you hold the parents responsible, because to a degree, the parents are wiser, right? They're
To a
supposed to
degree.
have wisdom. You're not so. I mean, I know there's children out here raising children too, but you know, at the
There's
same point,
literally
like,
children raising
yeah,
raising their
but
parents too.
yeah, raising. So you got kids out here, bro, and this is what I mean by we can take some from the old, you know, and blend it with the new, because being a parent back then meant that like your kid wasn't loose like that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have, you know, young girls showing their bodies like that, young men out here acting ratchet, so on and so on, right? So there was morals, there was codes, there was rules,
Yeah.
you know? So a lot of that stuff went out the window. So everyone's like completely reckless right now. And it's like nobody holding anybody accountable. So much so that even the parents are out here being just as reckless, because they think that this is what
You
is
have
This
to
is the
do.
popular.
new. This is the
Yeah,
new, bro.
this is the new. But the messed up thing is that, like you said, like who feeling bad for these kids? Yeah, feeling bad for these kids. But like I got a daughter, she's 16. She gets on social media, but she don't live there. You know what I'm saying? She knows what it is, because I think for her generation, she's gonna need to know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But me and my wife, we police that. You know what I'm saying? Because like we understand that there's an effect. You know, too much of anything ain't good for you,
Yeah.
right? So where do their parents come into play and say, okay, my daughter or my son was on social media for XYZ amount of time, enough of that. Let's read a book. Let's play a game. Let's play a game of chess, whatever. Like, let's do something stimulating. Otherwise, let me go build something with you. Let me go show you how to use your hands. Like, so when you run into issues in life, you don't break like glass, because the only skill you know how to do is validation and instant whatever gratification you're getting from that. It's like, hey man, I can go out here and relieve my stress by building something or creating something, or you know, like you're not looking for an outlet that's dangerous. Like, because everyone gets to a point where you need an outlet and you might grab for advice. But what if you taught your child at an early age that it's okay, you know, to be up and down, because life is a roller coaster. And you know that when you're going up, those are the good times. When you're coming down, it's not so good. But the only thing that keeps you down is how long you stay in your own way. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get out of your way, the train starts going back up. But we don't know that, because we're not having those conversations with those young people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where do the parents take the accountability to make sure that these young people know how to deal with what's coming? Because if you guys can see it and have the foresight and say, I feel bad for you, you can't tell me that these parents can't see that, bro. That's just pure laziness, you know? So who do we hold accountable at that point? And then if something traumatic happens to one of these kids, I don't want to see the parent on TV screaming, oh, my baby. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a self-inflicted wound. You didn't step in. And I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but that's how I feel about it. You know, like, I think we have an obligation as a parent. You bring a child in this world, they ain't asked to come here. You know, this stuff is dangerous out here.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been that's I like that answer. I don't even know if I was asking a question, but that shit was that shit was nice. I agree with you. It is the job, you know, of the parents. When, you know, in any case, whenever a kid is making a mistake, it's the job of the parent to be like, yo, that was a mistake. Yo, you got to learn from this and that, whatever. It's weird because, like, I feel like sometimes, like, you know, what happens if the parents doesn't know, right? If the parents just ignorant, there's a lot of ignorant people out in the world, and eventually ignorant kids become ignorant parents, and then they're gonna have ignorant kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a cycle. So how do you teach kids that don't have the parents? I don't know. It is weird, like, you know, because there's been so many instances where, like, you know, a lot of parents will have kids not really giving a fuck about the kids, and now the kid's just gonna grow up to be a fucked up kid that's not gonna have another fucked up kid because they were a fucked up parent. So when it's like kind of that cycle. I feel like somehow you gotta be able to cut that off, where all that negative shit.
I think it comes with realization, bro. First, you gotta realize you're fucked up or whatever. Then you gotta try to fix it. I feel like there's like accountability there that needs to take place, bro. Like for example, like if I had a shitty ass parent, like I've had shitty ass parents, right? Like I guess that's not my fault that I had shitty ass parents. Like, you know what I mean? That's just like, I guess, the luck of the draw of my of life. But then I feel like it's up to me. Like, all right, yeah, I had shitty ass parents, but I'm not gonna like, oh, because I had shitty ass parents, I'm gonna be a fucking shitty ass person. Or
you don't know that. You don't know that, Vic.
Nah.
You don't know your biology. You don't know how that shitty ass parents, that abuse and that conflict affected you, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know that.
But it's like
what happens if you don't even have the foresight to see they were shitty parents?
Right.
To then say you're gonna become a shitty person. They don't even like, what happens if you don't even have that insight into yourself, bro? To be able
I get what you guys. I was thinking of the Will Smith quote where he's like, what's the quote? He says something like, you got to play the cards you dealt with. Yes, and that's the example. He says like, yeah, you could have like crappy parents, but like you have the ability to change yourself. Like that's essentially the quote. Like,
yeah, but no one teaches you how to deal with trauma, bro. One of the biggest problems after slavery, bro, is that everyone just said, okay, slaves, here you go, and you're free. You know how much trauma was out there, bro?
Thanks, bro. That's
you know how much
crazy.
trauma was out there? There's no grief counselors that's coming to anybody's aid. Like, hey, I know you've been through some stuff, seeing your ancestors hung and bellies cut open and people fishing with your babies for alligator bait. Like, all these atrocities that happen, there's no grief counselors, right? So it's just like, so what do you do with the trauma? Like, no one teaches you how to deal with that trauma. That's why our young boys are out here shooting and killing each other now, because they're sensitive, they're hurt. And no one's actually talked to them, bro. If you sit down and talk to some of these young men and women, bro, that claim to be in gangs, they're hurt. They're hurt, and they don't know how to deal with the trauma. So no one's teaching them how to deal with the trauma. So they're out here acting out of pocket, right? So it's like, you don't know, and I'm not trying to knock what you said, Vic, but I'm just saying, like, if you grow up in a trauma with a bad family, you don't know how that trauma is going to affect you, bro. You don't know, like, okay, yeah, there's always those kids that break out and like were in shitty families and come out and they're like, yo, they ended up being like freaking, a scholar or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Like, or an elite basketball player, sports or actor, whatever the case may be. That there's always those standouts, but that's not everybody, bro. If you go down Methadone Mile, I'm pretty sure all of those people thought at some point they were going to be somebody. I don't think they thought their future was going to be walking around looking like zombies be. You know what I'm saying? But there's trauma that's not being dealt with, bro. And in our communities, we're talking to a therapist or something like that is like a taboo thing. Talking to somebody to help you deal with the
emotions,
things that you're dealing with.
Bro, even sometimes talking to your own friends and family about shit is like weird to do.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in times where I'm like trying to express myself to somebody and somebody be like, yo, why you being mad weird? Like, I'm just trying to express myself, but it's one of those weird, it seems weird to be, expressing yourself.
Vulnerable. It seems weird to be vulnerable, bro.
Vulnerable. Like, put aside your pride and just be, raw. That's a weird thing to do. Even like to this day, imagine like how many people are affected by that shit. And like you said, bro, like it's trauma. It's legit trauma. You don't even
look
know.
At his idol, Kanye. His mother died. And there's a lot of trauma there, bro. This man, that
was his life, bro. His life.
Yeah, like you don't know, like that's what I mean. Like, you don't know, like homelessness could have, like, it affected me and all my siblings differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all of us have a different experience with that. None of us have the same experience, even though we live the same life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we all have a different experience. We all move through life differently based on how that experience taught us to move. So that's why I'm just saying, like, you just really don't, like, dealing with the trauma is something huge in our communities. You know what I'm saying? That's why people walk around disconnected, not feeling good, having, abusing drugs and alcohol, what have you, because there's just some trauma that, and even people that recover, I've listened to doctors say the people that have recovered from like opioids and things like that, he's like, they've never truly recovered. They just have ignored the urge, you know? They've just they've learned to ignore the urge because at any moment they could slip.
And then it's right back to where
and then it's right back, you know? So it's this trauma, man, in our community and in our families, like, you know, like you said, being vulnerable, you know, that's tough, especially amongst men. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why is that the case? Because we all want to be tough guys. You know, we all want to be seen as these thugs.
Hey, yo, that's something that the old people taught me, though. And you told me it was good to listen to the old heads, bro.
Yeah. But I didn't say all of it was good. I said we can take some. I said we can take some. So, and I'm not saying we all have to be sensitive either, but I'm just saying that there's a balance. There's a natural balance. You know, there's a natural balance in life. I think our internal compasses tell us when we're doing right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you're doing something wrong, you know, if you're doing something right, because you got a little radar and you kind of telling you like, yeah, yo, we about to set this off and this ain't good, you know? But it's how we read that and it's how we respond to that. And if we completely unconscious of it, there's a lot of trauma in the way, bro. Because to be unconscious, and I think someone today just took a car and ran it into the Capitol and killed two officers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, to be that unconscious, there's a lot of trauma there, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, because I've my whole life, even on this show, I've talked about, like, I've been like, yo, through my like struggle and, you know, the things I've gone through in my life, the trials and tribulations, whatever, all the stuff. I feel like, you know, I saw like you know, like the low. I saw low of life, so all I could see was up. So that's how I was thinking about it. Like, yo, I got these were this was the hand I was dealt, but that's not going to define me. That's how I always thought. So that's where my ideology came from. But you guys got me thinking like, damn, bro, because it's not simple, bro. It's not simplicity. Like, it's true.
No, I mean,
There could be people
wired.
just blind to the idea of how fucked up they are, bro.
But some people, like, have you ever saw this illustration where there's an ant on the table and they draw a circle around it?
And then the ant just
and the ant won't go outside the circle.
Yeah, it doesn't leave because it thinks it's trapped or something.
So it's like, that's how some of us respond in life. We put imaginary walls and barricades around us to stop us from achieving our goals, and there's nothing really there.
Because it's easy to blame somebody else for your own, you know, failures. Because if I'm like, oh, yo, I didn't make it because I grew up in Chelsea. It's not my fault. I didn't make it Chelsea's fault. But
you know, you could have moved out of Chelsea. How long were you in Chelsea? 50 years. Okay, why didn't you move out? You know what I'm saying?
Love it there,
you stayed there your whole life. Okay, you love it. You love it that much. Then go do something good for Chelsea, then come back. Go do something good for yourself, then come back to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And maybe buy a building because you went out and did something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just it's just excuses that people put up.
Yeah.
Or walls, barriers,
just to make yourself feel comfortable, bro.
To justify life.
You put yourself as the victim, and then, you know, you're like, yo, I'm the victim because this and that. When if you like, you know, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you are the victim. Like, in any case, like, you know, somebody fucks you over. Sometimes you are the victim. But I really think that, you know, some shit that one of my teachers said in high school was that in every situation that happens, everybody has 100% of the fault, right? Even if you getting fucked over, somehow you have some fault in it.
Right.
So I like, you know, I was in 9th grade when I heard that shit. Didn't make any sense to me. But now I use that, and, like, you know, unconsciously I started using that as like something I did. Like, all right, yo, how did I cause the situation, even if I felt like it was my fault? Right. And I found so many times where, yo, oh damn, if I would have changed this, I would have been, you know, this much better. This whole situation where I felt like the victim might have not even happened. You know what I mean? But it's just that, you know, taking accountability is not hard, bro. It's not easy. I mean, it is easy. Is if you want to do it, is what it is.
You have to be critical of yourself when you take accountability, right? Because you got to say I'm wrong. Yeah. And that's something that people don't like saying, but I think there's power in that, because if you're always telling yourself you're right, then what do you correct? You know?
I mean, I do the complete opposite. Where I never tell myself I'm right. I'm always wrong.
No, I think, you know, there's power in words too, and how we speak to ourselves in our internal conversations. So I think, you know, affirmations and saying things the right way, you know, are definitely important. But I think that, you know, we have to, you know, to your point, take the accountability for some things. You know, like you said, like there's 100% of the fault, you know, at stake because you allowed that situation to happen. I was in a dealership today with a client, and I was overhearing a young lady discuss, you know, a deal with the sales manager, and the sales manager was being really aggressive. They usually take advantage of females in these environments, and I was really proud of her. Young Black girl. She was in there, and she was just like, "This is the first place that I visited. I wouldn't make a decision at the first place I visited. I'm going to see a couple more cars," and she kept pushing. They were trying to get her to sign credit apps and all this nonsense. And I really didn't want to intervene because it wasn't my place, but I was so proud of her at the end of the day because I'm like, wow, you know, she kind of stood her ground, you know, she like, but the thing is that there's so much knowledge out here. It's like, why don't we know, you know, about these things before we head into them? So for instance, like if there's a car buying purchase, if there's a parenting decision, if there's, you know, a business decision, and we're like, hey, well, we don't know. There's a shit ton of experts online, bro. And even if you don't find the right person, at least they might like adjust your thinking just a little bit so it puts you on the right path versus this chaotic one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Isn't that what you do with your like car service? You like give advice?
Yeah, I give you know, Bobby cars, and we help people buy cars. You know, I took a lady to the dealership. I negotiated her whole deal before she came in. So she just came in and picked the car up. Places already.
Sweet.
And we sold her trade for her. So yeah, so that's what the service is. And but we advocate for people because a lot of people get taken advantage of. And some people don't know. But I guess the point I was making is that there's no reason for people not to know. Like even on my platform, I provide enough information. It's up to people if they want to read it. And I always invite people to, hey, give me a call, just have a 15-minute consultation. I guarantee you I'll save you more money than you thought in 15 minutes than the hour or two you're going to spend at the dealership, you know? So it's just one of those services that I created from the car business because I saw people of color getting taken advantage of. When people of color would show up to the dealership, all the salespeople and salesmen would run out to them. It was like the people of color were like the easy marks, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of like, it didn't sit well with me because, you know, I always saw people of color coming in and I'm like, you know, why was the case? I was still green. I didn't know enough about it. But once I learned, I'm like, yo, they make more money off of us because we're over here looking at the brims and, you know, all of this other stuff. But I said, when the Asians and the white people come in here, they don't even look at the car. They just go straight to the negotiations. They want to know what the interest rate is, the price of the car, how long the term is, what are the taxes and fees. They ask us a completely different set of questions. We're not talking about stereo and the size of the rims. We're talking about how much is this thing going to cost me because it's a depreciating asset. Versus, so there's two different kind of conversations happening here. And I'm like, why? Right? So I'm like, I got to inform my people. I got to let my people know, you know, put them on game. Like I said earlier in the conversation, there's no benefit of hoarding knowledge. So sharing that knowledge and trying to help people get up on game is definitely something I've been trying to do, man.
That's beautiful, bro.
That is beautiful,
because one of the things I always talk about is just, you know, there's so much information, it's kind of sometimes hard to sift through. And like I was telling Vic, like sometimes Google can make you more confused. So I'd rather trust a person that, you know, they seem knowledgeable, they know what they're doing, they have, you know, background in this thing. Because I know I could trust you because you have a background in this to you know, do this
doing
thing.
that for 15 years, man.
But to your point about the, you know, the different set of questions between like black people and, you know, people of minorities and like these other people, like I think it's kind of crazy. Like one day I was like I was like scrolling through IG, right? And there was like, I don't know, I think it was like specifically that day, maybe some like my multiple people had just bought new cars. But like, you know, people were posting, oh, I got a new car, like, you know, so proud of myself, this and that. And like you said, you know, I've learned that buying a car is a depreciating asset. It's not really like, it's, you know, some people, you know, it's nice, you got a nice car, but at the end of the day, that's just taking money from you, from your back pocket. Like you drive that shit off the lot, it already lost value, like just right there. So like I was like asking myself, like, yo, like, why is it that, you know, obviously most people I follow are from the cities like mine, they're minorities or this and that, right? So I was like asking myself, like, yo, why are these people so happy about buying something that's a depreciating asset? It's not bringing this all, like, you know, truly what they think is bringing them. Like they see it as a step of success. And I realized, I'm like, yo, it's because so many people's families don't even have cars. They don't even have cars.
Yeah,
Like their
I
whole
was gonna say
family,
that.
they don't
They
even
don't
got,
own nothing,
they don't
bro.
own no cars. And I'm like, holy shit. I started realizing, like, yo, you buy a car, that's like some
It's like gold, bro. It's
for
like
like people like
graduating, bro.
us, that's like doing something that nobody's ever done in your whole family, bro.
Right,
That's
right.
like so crazy. When
Yeah.
like again, back to the, like, you know, the reason we say is the difference. White people, that they turn 16, you already got a whip. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I was lucky in the fact that I actually one of those people that got a car for free. My parents got me a car when I was 16 too. Like, you
Right.
know, I'm blessed to be able to live that life. But, you know, and I think that's why I had to ask that question that day. But it's like I got to see that side of it. Like, yo, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
How so many people are influenced to believe this thing. And like you said, that's why they get fucked over, because they're
Yeah.
just seeing this as like, yo, this is like a big boy purchase, bro. Like, this is
Right.
something that I'm doing that's gonna change my life because I'm buying this car.
And
So
it
that's
makes
why
you
they
feel
get fucked
good.
over.
It
Yeah.
makes you feel good. You know, buying a car is an amazing feeling, bro. But I think what people forget is how quick it wears off.
Mm,
Because next year there's going to be a newer one out. And the
yeah.
next year there's going to be a newer one out. So if you got a 5-year loan on it, in 5 years, your car's going to look like a beater.
Yeah.
So before your loan's even up, the dealer's snagging you back in to increase your payment, increase your excise tax, increase your insurance for another depreciating asset. So now you just sunk, let's say the first car was like 20 grand, you know, and they got you out in the last year of your loan. Now you just sunk in another 20 grand plus taxes and fees. You're already in 10 years spent 40 grand on something that didn't make you any money at all.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an educational thing. So one of my things is the reasons they don't teach finances in school is because they want us all to be consumers. You know what I'm saying? Because the day that they teach you finances in school, you don't go out and buy an iPhone like that.
Yeah.
You don't go out and buy these cars like that. You don't go out here and waste your money on clothes and all these things like that. And get it. I love sneakers. I love clothes. I love all of that, right? I'm into fashion and stuff like that. But at the same time, I buy it on budget. You know what I'm saying? I don't spend. I mean, look at what the pandemic did. A lot of people went down because, you know, they didn't have emergency funds and, you know, stash money put away. And I encourage, you know, Vic, if you was at the orientation, I told everybody, you know, like, you're getting taxes taken out of your check, federal, make sure, you know, I know your name's on the top of the check, but make sure you know, in that tax section that your name's there again, meaning that you're taking something out of that check and putting it to the side, because you never know when you hit a hard opportunity in life, and put some money away so that when a rainy day comes, you ain't gotta be, you know, moving out of your apartment and not having anything to eat and all of these things. And I think, you know, we just mismanage our finances, and that just shows going forward. Like you said, you had a car at 16, your family passes it down. If we kept the car long enough, we probably could pass it down too, but we too busy trying to stunt every few years, hopping into a new one and a new one. We never get to pass a car down to the kid. We pass debt down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that's just, it's not conducive. You know, some of these families die with debt. The kids never inherit a house. They never inherit anything because, you know, there's liens or something on it. You know what I'm saying? So then the kid's at zero.
Yeah.
Okay. And then his counterpart in the next town over is getting left a house and money in the bank and all of this. So he got a great head start.
Yeah.
You know, so is that bad parenting? Some would say yes.
I think
But
I don't think it's bad. Yeah, I think it's ignorance,
bro.
Like for example, like
Bro,
But how long? I hear you with the ignorance, but how long can we use that?
Nah, I think
some
people
until it's being taught in school.
Yeah, I think it generally
no, because listen, just because, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but
nah, you're good, bro.
Just because I you know, my grandmother, my great grandmother, I get it. My mother, I get it. But after that, bro, come on, man. We can't say ignorance after that. There's too much information out here. It's laziness, bro. And I'm sorry if I'm coming at that. I might offend some people by saying that, but I think it's truly laziness, because it's like, if we want the latest, greatest sneaker, we'll freaking hunt it online. We'll like set dates,
do all the research,
you know, do all the time on it. But if we want to make money or to do something that's conducive for us, even though the gratification is an instant, it might be a little long term. It's like, nah, man, you know, I don't know enough about it. I'm ignorant to it, so I'm gonna push it off. You could put that same time and energy into one as you did the other. That's just a choice at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know how long we would, you know, and I agree with you guys, but I'm just saying, how long can we keep using that? You know?
Nah, you're right. You're right. There is like a stopping point because obviously, you know, we know this information, you know what I mean? So I could learn it now, but I'm thinking like for example, my mom, she didn't know that, you know what I mean?
No, your mom, yeah, your mom.
Because she didn't know that, she didn't teach me that, you know what I mean? So it was like, like she's ignorant to the idea of like, you know, of all this, all the information we have now, you know what I mean? But because I have the information now, I can't just be like, oh, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I was never taught that when it's all out there for me. Like, so if I have a kid one day, right? I can't use that as an excuse, but I feel like my mom could use that as an excuse.
Your mom definitely could. My mom could definitely use that. But I think, you know, the generations that are, you know, living through this, that are seeing, you know, all of this digital age, you know, like I think to have those kind of excuses or cop-outs, you know what I'm saying? It goes back to your point earlier about, you know, people being comfortable with excuses and saying, you know, well, you know, I didn't accomplish this and blame it on someone else kind of thing. It's like, it goes back to that because that's essentially what you're doing at that point.
Yeah.
You know, you're making an excuse for not doing the work. And that's what I think that's what's like failing our generation sometimes is because we don't want to invest the time into some things. But we'll invest the time into things that we really want. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want those sneakers or I want to go to this party, I'm gonna go get dressed up, get my hair cut, whatever kid. But when it's time to do something that might actually benefit you in future generations, are we willing to put that work in?
You know? Right. Here's what I want to say. So we kind of had two instances, and you said two different things in both instances, right? So you said when, like, for example, with the trauma thing, you were like, oh, if somebody can't even think about their trauma, it's not their fault. But here now you're saying that, you know, with all this information, they should be able to supply themselves with that information to do it, right? Like back in the day, there were still therapists and everything to talk about your feelings, but it wasn't that accepting it. I really think in any case, it is tough because, you know, I have to force myself to go learn something. It's not easy to go force yourself to like I want to, let's say, right, I want to become a millionaire, right? For me to say that in my life is not easy because I don't have anyone in my family to look at that is a millionaire,
right?
You know, out there. It's not easy because I got to figure it out for myself, and that's a lot of fucking work, a lot of trials and tribulations I'm gonna have to go through if I really want to figure out how to become a millionaire. Some people might be like, oh, yo, I want to become a millionaire. Oh, my dad's a millionaire. Boom, all of us. And it's easy for them because it's just like, oh, yo, I applied this formula here. Just use this formula too. And then you become a millionaire too. So I think it's when it's easily applied to you, you know, it's easy. No, the information is easily supplied to you is when you shouldn't be ignorant. But it's just so abundant of information. If you're still ignorant, bro, I don't fault you because it's hard to sift through all that information to truly get to where you want to get to. So I don't know. I was just
I agree with that. And I think that to the point of me giving two different pieces on it, it's just that I think it's more generations. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we all have trauma, and I don't think that's ever gonna change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I could make my trauma my excuse for not succeeding in my life and just be happy staying at home and, you know, collecting unemployment and doing something like that, right? But there's no real purpose to my life. And I think we're all created for a purpose. I think to be lucky to be on this planet, to make it this far, you know what I'm saying? Like I think we all have a purpose. And I think fulfilling that purpose is something beautiful. Like if we ever find out what we're truly here for and we fulfill that, that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's what gives a lot of people peace and like you know, like true accomplishment. You know, like you feel like you're doing something that's contributing and giving back and inspiring other people. You know, so yeah, you know, like I think there's two sides to that. Yeah, the trauma is there, but you can't keep using excuses. And the reason I say can't keep using excuses because I think people just And it goes back to your point earlier, finding comfort zones in these excuses and then just being comfortable not to do nothing. Okay, once you found out that that thing was stopping you, are you going to continually let it stop you? Or are you going to move it out of the way so you can see a little clearer and continue, you know, try to get some momentum going? It's one step. You know what I'm saying? As a writer, I haven't been writing that much, but I'm trying to write every day, right? So I know if I, you know, push myself to write every day, then I'm going to be writing a lot more consistently. My bars and my words and everything is going to come out. I'm going to start finding new techniques and things because I'm actually putting the work in. Or I can just sit back and keep procrastinating about it, hoping that somebody offers me sympathy or compassion about it. That ain't never going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do I truly want out of it? At some point, I got to be real honest with myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Have a tough conversation with myself and say, what do I want for my life? Do I want to just travel down this average path, or do I want to be a millionaire? And if I want to be a millionaire, let me go figure out what a millionaire does, what a millionaire is regiment like. It's like me right now. I'm going to the gym. I got to watch people that have better diets than me. I can't say, oh, I want to, you know, flatten my stomach, get my body in shape, and I'm still eating when I, you know, because then I truly don't want it.
True.
You know?
That's facts.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, but a lot of people in this world not willing to put in that work. You know what I mean? Like how many people you hear where it's like, yo, I'm gonna do this shit, and then they never do it, bro.
Because it's a discipline thing, though. That's where I think the parents come in, though, too, man. I think your parents can, and you're not always gonna have parents to push you and have that discipline, but I think we've let parents off the hook, bro. Like with a lot, the way kids are growing up, social media and everything. Like we've just let everybody off the hook, and we're like, hey, man, everyone's just free to do whatever they want to do. You know,
think
that discipline is important, man, because some of these kids, when they hit a roadblock in life, they end up committing suicide because it's too difficult of a problem because they weren't taught to problem solve, you know? So those things for me is just like something, and I know some parents would say, hey, well, you know, what if you don't know? I think before you have children, man, this should be one of those things you talk about, man. Like how, you know, how would I parent my child? You know, I think people are loose having sex like that now and having children, and it's mistakes and habits or whatever. But I think truly, if you're gonna bring another life in this planet, bro, you should want it to do way better than you. You should want it to exceed and jump way higher than you have ever jumped. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like, well, I wasn't nothing, so I don't care if it's not nothing either. Like, what is that, bro? What is that?
It's setting up for failure, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like the selfishness of the world. So everything's me, 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 me. You know what I mean? Like, how can it benefit me? I feel like that's how everyone thinks. I feel like not a lot of people are able to empathize with the person next to them. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their own issues in their head or in their own life, and it's difficult enough to think about that, to take the time to think about someone else. That's like I feel like a lot of people don't have that. You know what I mean? How many times have you like tried to express yourself, for example, and then like you said, someone's like, "The fuck you talking about, bro?" Because they don't have the time for that in their head for you, bro.
Yeah, they're just like, especially I think it's the shit that I talk about specifically, but like in general, I think it's just like, oh shit, yeah, I don't know.
But like it's like I think that's what it is. Like, so then, for example, then you have people that like have kids by mistake, and then they're like, "Fuck, I made this mistake," and they're not willing to, like, they see the kid grow and stuff, and they're just kind of like, "Oh, we hope for the best," because it's just like I feel like it's a selfish thing. They don't care about that thing because they didn't even want it, bro.
Like, yeah, but if it grows up and be something special, they're like, "Oh, that's my baby.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
That's my baby." You know, so that's the irony in all of that is because everybody loves them when they're cute and little, right?
Yeah.
But when he starts growing, or when she starts growing, and one of my things I always told people, I like having a child is like buying a new computer. You know, it's like buying a new computer because you can corrupt a hard drive or you can make it perform at the most optimum level based on the information you put into it. Right. Okay. So it's like, what do you choose to do? You know, you're going to let it sit and watch TV every day and get all of this poor knowledge and, you know, outcomes because you didn't want to invest the time,
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna take the time, and I know we're all working and we're all doing what we got to do, but everybody got some time, man, where we can sit down and drop jewels. That's why you should still have dinner around the dinner table, so you can investigate, talk to your kids, learn if there's something going on. You know, especially now during COVID, mental health is more important than anything in the world. Talk to your kids. Make sure you understand that, you know, if they're struggling with something and it's difficult, that you can have that conversation. And everything doesn't always have to be a serious conversation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
Man, I also think what's wrong with that is not what's wrong with that, not what your idea, but what's wrong with the world is we've made it too convenient, bro. Like for example, like in like, you know, in the 60s, 70s, whatever, there was no like iPads or nothing. So you couldn't just give, you know, yo, here, play fucking fruit slice or whatever.
Fruit ninja,
whatever.
Yeah,
fucking
that's a good game, by the way, man. I like that.
that is a good game.
Nah, you know what I mean? Like you couldn't just do it. Now I feel like it made it easier for parents to just chill, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it takes, like, you have to take the extra step in order to, you know, be involved in your kid's life. Cause now like your kid can kind of like learn by himself and fucking
learn and
cook
develop
by himself. He can do whatever learn and develop just by being on the tablet, bro.
Yo, I think I heard a story of somebody was like, yo, I heard my kid talking like Japanese or something like that. Like the kid had learned Japanese all by themselves. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean? So like because the world is advancing and because the world is growing, we've made it fucking we've like technology is getting better. I feel like we've said it, like the technology is getting better. I feel like the people's ideology and people's way of thinking is diminishing, bro. You know what I mean? Because we're just making it so convenient that
it might just maybe it's just changing. Maybe it's, I think every few generations or so things did change, you know, like things aren't the way they were in the beginning of time. You know, we're not writing on stone tablets and stuff now, we're writing on iPads, right? So like times are changing. So like maybe it's just and maybe it might not change in my lifetime, but you know, the next life, my daughter's lifetime and on, there's gonna be a different law, probably different sort of circumstances, rules, and everything that people subscribe to. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be so far gone from what we're used to. It's going to look like a freaking whole nother world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, imagine how like social media is new. Like,
it's still new.
It was before we were born. It wasn't a thing. Like, you know, we were born and it still wasn't a thing. Like, it really didn't start until we were little kids. And like, obviously now that's kind of like all we know because we grew up in that age.
Nah, I feel like we're like in the middle.
Yeah, we're like in the middle because I definitely grew up like probably till like 10 years old.
Because I you know what I mean, I grew up putting the VCR in the fucking thing, bro.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Bro, what thing?
In the VHS thing, yeah.
Oh, VHS.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I grew up like watching the fucking, I remember the Nickelodeon cassettes were orange, bro. Like I remember that stuff, but then I also remember like, you know, sneaking to the HP home desk laptop, whatever at home and going on MySpace, bro. You know what I mean? So it was like I felt like I had both worlds, but I feel like for like my little brother, he's wow, he's fucking 13 or something, 12. I don't know. He's a little kid. Like I remember I was telling him like, I was playing the Nintendo 64 this and that when I was younger, and he was like, yeah, I've never played that in my life.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like, because it's so different. He's just like he's growing in a world where everything is social media, everything's TikTok and do this for the camera, and you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just the influence of the world. Because the world's changing, technology's growing. I feel like our generations are becoming like, I don't want to say dumb, but they're becoming.
Well, it's only been like 10 years. There's only been like 2 generations. It's not even been that many generations. Generations are changing. Like, it's not even that much. It's literally, we're still babies in this shit. Literally, like, that's what's gonna be crazy. Like, one of the first things he said was, yo, we don't even know how it's gonna affect us, bro. 50 years down the line, like, who knows? This can't, bro. From talking like this on the phone and everything, I might grow a lump in my head in 50 years because I don't even know. I don't even know what kind of technology this bullshit is, right? So, like, that's what I mean. In the future, with time where people already know, yo, social media is this, you know, you gotta manage. Like, I already see so many people be like, oh, you gotta manage social media.
Sorry, bro. That was funny. That was the best joke you ever said in your life, bro.
But yo, like you know, so when people get to that point where it's been like 50, 60 years, there'll be that information. So I'm hoping then, people are not gonna be all, controlled by this shit, but then it'll just be the next thing controlling you.
Bro, Boston Dynamics with the robot dogs and
Yo, them shits are fire though.
yo,
I would
yeah.
love to talk to those guys.
Think about how they're gonna be used though, brother.
Yeah.
So we're seeing stuff that we don't understand yet.
Wait,
but
robot dogs?
Yeah, you never seen Boston Dynamics? They're literally from Boston, bro. And they make
yeah,
like
Google bought the company. Yeah.
One of the best robots like out there. They have like I know I've seen all the videos on social media. They're like pushing the robot down.
Yeah, trying to knock it down and
it'll get back up. It can open doors and shit like that.
Is that the thing that shoots and everything? Or no, am I bugging out?
They can probably train it to shoot. Probably already can shoot.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't even know what that is, bro.
Yeah, no.
I'm an old man, bro. I mean, I don't hop on social media like that, bro.
It's not social media, bro. It's in the news, but it's cool.
I don't watch the news either. I'm not informed, bro. Is what it is, bro.
It's all right, bro.
Nah, it's just like I don't know, bro. I feel like we gotta go through like some metamorphosis, bro. Because I always think like, yo, we're gonna go through a utopia, and like because like humans have the ability to change. I feel like, yo, we could change the negative shit that we're doing to our everyday lives to make it better. I just don't know how to do that, bro. I don't have the answer, bro.
Take away currency. Take away currency.
Take away currency? Nah, I don't think so.
Nah.
Bro.
Why not?
Because if you take away currency, what happens if I want something from you and I don't have anything that
you just exchange something?
What happens?
That's what it was. Spices and herbs for fruits and vegetables.
I mean, what happens if I don't have something I don't have anything you want?
Nah, that's tough. Because if you take away currency, I feel like you take away the I don't want to say competition, but you take away like, because with currency you get like a drive in you. You know what I mean? Like,
but why do we need that though?
Why?
Like if people like just think about like from a biblical standpoint, everyone's supposed to live in like a paradise earth and be fruitful and well and eat off nature and just live, right?
Yeah.
Is that not the utopia?
We're far gone from that, bro.
Of course.
We're far gone.
Yeah, we're killing cows every day. Just
but your point is that humans will hopefully one day correct themselves, which I don't think is possible, and go back to this utopia. I think as smart as humanity is, we're flawed like that. I don't think we're gonna get to that utopian place.
Nah, you see, it might be my optimism, bro. But everyone says that, bro. Everyone says, nah, this world is never gonna. We're never gonna see the light of day.
Power corrupts at every level, bro. The more power someone has, the more corrupt. It's an automatic like instinct of power, like with attribute.
Imagine like sometimes even the smallest power, like being the power of being a parent over a little kid, that can corrupt some people. That's so crazy to me how some parents will like be like if they're the drill sergeant to their kid, bro, and that's just being a parent to a kid. But
like they won't take their own advice.
Yo, that's just crazy, bro.
But all right, let's say you know this information, right? You know what you know right now, and then all of a sudden, let's say tomorrow they give you the power, bro. They'd be like, boom, you have all the power in the world. You're gonna tell me you're gonna just fucking take it for what all of you, bro? You're gonna be like, fuck it, I'm powerful now and I'm the almighty and I can do whatever the fuck I want, even though you have morals like I want to help the community and things like that.
Look at Thanos. What did Thanos want?
To chill.
Yeah, he wanted.
What he did. He just chilled.
He just wanted to chill, bro.
Oh man, I don't know, bro. That's tough, bro.
I think that's so dumb. Like, if we're actually like real quick about that Thanos shit.
Oh, you should have mentioned.
I just think it's so dumb because if you cut half of the population, all they have to do is have sex, and then all of a sudden it's doubled again. So they're back to where it started. So like that shit was dumb in the first place, bro. Like I don't know, that shit was not goofy.
I mean,
I don't know. The premise of it is cool. The idea of like, you want to help people by getting rid of half of so everybody has resources and then everybody feels better. But
I don't know. I don't feel like it's that either. I feel like I was gonna say it's like getting rid of the rotten apples, but that doesn't work either, bro. Man,
how do you judge that? Like right now in China, they have a video tracking where it judges you based on, I guess, your behavior. So when you're walking down the street, they can judge you like, you get a score based on like if you've done good or bad.
What if I'm having a bad
So
day? Bro?
you just don't get access to certain places because of your score or whatever the case may be.
But what if
And
I'm
I'm
having a
like,
bad
that's
day,
crazy.
bro?
That's like some. You ever watch the show Black Mirror?
No, but I keep hearing about this, so I gotta check that out.
That's like some Black Mirror shit right there, bro.
Yeah.
Like you ever watch Black Mirror? It's like Black Mirror is like one of those. It's like a weird show where it's like kind of like those
Dystopian shit.
yeah, like dystopian ideas. Yeah, where it's like this weird ass world that's it could be real with technology, you know, but it's like yo, like how would that affect? Like one of my favorite episodes of it is like there's this little girl that her mom, like, you know, she lost her for like one day and then she got shook, so they put like an implant in her face and like her head where she could see everything the daughter was seeing. You know, she could like control, even like block control. Like there was a dog that would bark like a vicious dog. You can block it and it would look like just a blur, and the girl wouldn't be able to see that. Like she can control everything for the girl, right? And then it got to the point where she was like, nah, I'm not gonna use this anymore. And then one day she was like randomly pulled it back out and she saw her daughter doing coke and like sucking dick or some shit. And then and then like the mom went crazy. She was like, where were you at? And then the girl was like, you're watching me again. And the girl like beat up her mom with the tablet. That was, you know, that shit was crazy. Like it's just a weird idea. Like, yo, like, you know, being able to see everything
that's dark, bro. That's dark.
That is dark, bro.
Yo, they get dark, bro. They get dark, and sometimes like it's hard to even think about. Like, yo, like what the fuck is going on? There's another episode.
No, but that's like what I was imagining when you were saying like she could see what the daughter is trying to protect is kind of like helicopter parents. You know, like when we were kids growing up, your parents would just throw you outside, you just run outside, you get hurt, you come in once the street lights go out, kind of thing, right? So you learned a lot faster, and I'm sure there's still kids that are learning on the streets because I still see them out there late. But I think that, you know, you learned a lot from that. You know, so some parents are being like helicopter parents and they coddle and keep their kids from everything. So when the kid finally does break away, they go out and do wild, like the worst stuff because they've been trapped so long, right? You've been hit, you hid the dog from me, you hid this. So now the next scene you see me snorting and doing the most, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Because I'm never been a parent, right? But it's like I feel like there has to be like a balance because so my mom was like strict when I was growing up, but she would let me go out if I like, you know, took out the trash and fucking cleaned my room. You know what I mean? Like I had to like earn my way to get the fuck out of my house, or else I never saw this kid, right? I never was out because I never took out the trash, whatever. But like
you're always
like,
sleeping.
Yeah, that too. But there has to be like a balance. I feel like if you're too strict, bro, that shit's gonna happen. You know, someone's gonna be snorting coke and sucking someone off, bro. Like, and then I feel like, but if you're too like loose, bro, like you just let them do whatever the fuck they want,
they'll end up the same place, probably.
Nah, I feel like the kid's gonna be mad confused, bro. He's gonna think he's his
own
like parent.
Regardless of how I think everyone wants to talk about it, you know, conversation like this has been happening a long time with, you know, parents saying the kids should be able to choose and make decisions on their own. And if we're being 100% about it, like a lot of adults can't make good decisions on their own. So if you have a new child on the world and you're like, okay, I'm gonna let them choose X, Y, and Z, it's like, okay, so what are you really doing? Because they have no clue what X, Y, and Z is yet. There's still no concept of that. So is that detrimental at the same time? Are you setting them up for failure initially? Because wouldn't you want them to at least have some comprehension of what A or Y and Z is before you start saying choose or make your own choices? So I think that's one of the conversations. Again, with just accountability and just, you know, making sure people have a healthy upbringing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's fucking tough.
So I got a question, bro. So, you know, this conversation has been kind of like talking about, you know,
the world, bro.
Like people. It's kind of like people. You know how people act, how people, you know, are affected by certain things and this and that. So like, you know, it takes a lot to get to a place where you can even, you know, reflect and be able to talk about shit like that. So like, you know, how did you, you know, you got in, like, you're speaking about some crazy shit. Like a lot of the shit that you're saying, it makes me like, oh shit, like I didn't even think about that. So like, you know,
spitting bars, bro.
Yeah, facts, bro. You know what I mean? So like, you know, what did it take to get there, bro? To be able to speak, like, you know, and especially like some of the words that you were saying, it was crazy. Like you said you grew up, like there was times where you were homeless, but you were using some big ass words I never even heard before, bro. I was like, oh, okay, okay.
No,
So
man. I mean, I think you know, like my you know, Vic's superhero is Kanye. Mine is my mom. You know, she grew up. You know, we had some tough upbringings, but she kept the family together. I always admired her for that because I always thought like, you know, she could have, you know, put the kids up for adoption and went on and lived her life. It didn't have to be that hard for her. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
always like admired the fact that regardless of what we went through, how long we were on the streets, what have you, that, you know, she kept the family together. That was really admirable for me. So for me growing up, I was like, yo, I gotta like figure this code out. You know, I gotta like this code of life. Like I see people out here moving, getting it, figuring it out, you know, just trying to navigate this life. It can be very difficult, especially because you get certain things from your mom. If you had a dad in your life, I'm pretty sure you get certain things from your dad. But yeah, so she was like a big influence for me. But growing up, I was, you know, my thought process is I always hung around the OGs anyway. So I was always like, those are kind of like my father figures. You know, growing up, I was always hanging around with older, you know, hence Mr. Gilmore, you know, hanging around with older men because I always felt that there was more knowledge there. You know, the kids that were around my age, they were talking about stuff, but I was really bored with that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, yeah, you know, like doing this and, you know, I did little, you know, knucklehead stuff that all kids do, but like some of that stuff like got played out real early for me. So it wasn't like a lot of attention for me. Like my attention wasn't there. I was, you know, I had my first business. I was a partner in a business at like 19 years old, you know, running a cafe. So I was always trying to break stereotypes and I didn't want to like disappoint my mom, like, you know, getting locked up and I've been locked up before. But I was always like, you know, I don't want to like shame the family, you know what I mean? To the point where, you know, they're like, oh, you know, what the hell did you do? So I always tried to like think higher. You know, I self-taught myself. I went to high school in Boston. The schools weren't that great, but when I got into writing music, you know, that's where I expanded my vocabulary. That's when I started reading more. I had to start learning about more topics so that I could be a sharper MC when I was, you know, because we would go to different hoods and battle people. So one of the ways to be up on your game was to be up on game. You had to be like a lyrical athlete, training yourself with knowledge and different terminologies and different even languages sometimes, just so you could bend words and make them work in music. But I like reading certain topics. I like learning. I still like learning to this day, and I never tell, you know, even the staff I have as a leader now, I always tell them, listen, I don't know everything. I'm still learning. I want to keep learning. I want to be like my mentor, always mind open, ready to receive new information. So yeah, man, that's one of the things where, you know, I think that kind of that's kind of my like my discipline with it. Yeah.
And a question I have, so like you do music, you're like a hip hop connoisseur, bro. Like I'll try to, I'll try to be like, yo, Drake's the GOAT, and then you'll be like, you'll hit me with like 10 bars from like 3 different songs. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I gotta think mad hard.
Yeah.
So like what has like on top of the influence you had, like your mom, Mr. Marvin Gilmore, what has hip hop played in a role for you? Like what does that mean in your life?
Hip hop was like everything to me, bro. Growing up, man, like that was I'd like to say that I was in the golden era of hip hop, you know, Salt and Pepper, Big Daddy Kane, KRS One, Rakim, you know, Kumo D, all of these Ghosts, Lord Finesse, DITC. We had, you know, I saw an era of hip hop that had so many different genres, you know, of music. It wasn't just like gangster rap. You had your backpack music, you had Zulu Nation, you just had so many different genres of the music. You know, you still had, you know, stuff that would go pop and one hit wonders. You always had that in the game. But the culture was different, man. There's a big graffiti culture, big breakdancing culture. You know, DJs was a real thing. You know, when you perform, you had to have a DJ on stage. You had to have dancers on stage. You know, you had to have your microphone and you had to have your own style, you know? So all of that was like glamour and glitz to me, you know. I never really did or got into music because I wanted to be like on the scene. It was just like I just wanted to do it. You know, it was almost like KRS says it now. He's like, hip hop is like a religion. You know, you like live it. You know, so knowing the elements of hip hop and knowing that I grew up in that era where I could go see cats, you know, tag walls and DJs pull out vinyl records and, you know, people freestyle off the top of their head and battle raps that was just like some of the most iconic stuff that you've never seen on YouTube. That stuff to me was just like so inspirational that when I got home, I was like, I'm digging in. Like I'm trying to figure out how to sharpen my tools because I want to be in those battles and I want to be, you know, getting the oohs and ahs when people, you know, hear me spit. So you know, I love hip hop, a huge influence on my life, bro. And still to this day, like I can't stop rapping. I still write to this day. I got probably a gazillion beats I gotta write or record to that I haven't yet. But you know, it's just one of those things I think I'll never stop doing. I love the music, I love the culture. I wish it truly got the respect it deserves and they split up the genres so we could truly have a good conversation because I think there's, you know, too many genres of music that are getting mixed together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And another thing is like, so you used to go by the name E-Vape, bro. I got that from you, bro. I learned that from you, bro. Every verse I kill, that's just fire, bro. So so you went from that name, right? So why'd you change it to Bobby Dangerous, bro?
Yo, that's a good question, bro. And it happened because I lived in the South End at the time and I had a young man named Cedric Steele who was like a 14-year-old kid and I was in my mid 20s and he used to come into my cafe all the time that I was running and he wanted to learn how to rap. And I used to take him to my crib because I lived right down the street from the cafe. And we used to go in there after school and I would like train him up on like, you know, freestyling and how to write and how to segment your rhymes out and stuff like that. So he became like a little son to me. And long story short, let's say fast forward like 8 years, you know, he performed at the Western Front too. And he had got shot and killed, right? And for me, that set me back a while, bro. Like I stopped rapping for a long minute after that. Like I just couldn't touch pen or paper because it was like, it was just one of those moments that I just didn't feel it no more. I was like done.
Damn.
I tried to make beats. I tried to do whatever else to get my musical, you know, influence out, but I just couldn't pick up the pen and paper anymore. So when I did pick up the pen and paper, I was inspired by the tragedies that happened, you know, with the Black Lives Matter music movement and things like that. And I started writing more activism-based raps because I was like, yo, I need something, you know, I need to write with more of a purpose now, you know, like it's cool to just rap and mesh words together, but I need to like have something that has a message to it. So that's kind of where I like switched the name because my whole style, Evic was more of a battle rapper and like not giving a fuck, whatever, throw me in any situation, I'm going for it type. And the Bobby Dangerous moniker is more of like the activist, political rap kind of, you know, moniker there, you know, so that's where that transition happened. Yeah.
That makes sense. Nah, I definitely can see the activism and the you got so
the music is
the
crazy,
music is
bro.
fucking crazy, bro. So like you got bro, like again, ladies and gentlemen, this man was hiding the gems, bro. You know what I mean? He was telling me to count the weed, bro. He wasn't telling me he had the bars, bro. Yo, I got a bar, bro, that this man has. Let me try to find it in my notes. You go. I'm gonna sound fire. It's because it's bars. Ready? How come all my images depicted as negative, but if you do the same, it's uploaded and accepted?
Applauded and accepted.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck! I fucked it up. My fault, bro. But yo, like that's a crazy ass bar, and like listening to that song, the song's Freedom, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta listen to it on SoundCloud, bro. It's just crazy. Like, bro, like I felt like listening to it. I was ready to like fucking
freedom.
Run
That's how
yeah,
it starts,
I was ready
bro.
to like,
oh
bro,
shit.
I was like reflecting, bro. I was thinking like, damn, bro, I gotta I gotta do more. Like I wanna be like an activist. You know what I mean? Like I was like hyped. Like what, bro? What was it like writing that song? I felt like you were getting like a whole bunch of like stuff off your chest, bro. And it's just so like well produced, well written, well everything. Like tell me your experience about that whole song in total, bro.
Oh, I gotta give a shout out to Tone Jones, Grammy nominated producer.
I understand
that dude's a problem. You know, ToneJones.com. That dude, he produces some amazing tracks. But for me, bro, it's like as a writer, like sometimes the song writes itself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could hear the beat and like the words are just pouring out your pen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's such a powerful track, and you can like, you know, like that's how I felt about Freedom. Like I didn't even really feel like I wrote that song. I just felt like it just poured out the pen, like the pen was just going, because I like when Freedom was finished, I was just like sitting back looking at the paper like, yo, you know, I was just like, I was amazed, because I was just like, yo, these bars are like hitting. Like if anyone ever sits and listens to what I'm saying, like they're really gonna understand, like there's some crazy content if you break the bars down, and there's some hidden messages in there too. But it was just an amazing experience. And like I said, shout out to Tone Jones, because he makes some, I call it my rebel music, because I buy a lot of his tracks, but he makes some amazing production that just gets like the best out of my pen. And another shout out to Nelly Pro Tools. He's a big engineer in Boston. He's produced for everybody at OG and the whole Boston clique, all around Massachusetts. You know, he puts the finishing touches on my music. He's the only one I trust to do that, and he makes it sound clear and radio ready. So, you know, but the music came out beautiful, man. I'm super proud of that song. And I reflect on it myself, you know, because that's all true. You know, talking about my coworker, you know, telling him that he bumped his head, you know, like just going through that, because I know a lot of people, I think even you said that, Vic, you've had a situation where you might have had an employee say something wild to you and you're like, what? Like, I don't get it. So I thought those situations were, you know, true, and that they were relatable, you know?
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, bro, like, cause that's like the best music when you can relate to it on a different level. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like there's like, you know, you could bump to music and it, you know, whatever. You didn't even pay attention to the lyrics. But when like I feel like when the lyrics are louder than the music, if that makes sense, bro, and the words are just like smacking your head, bro, I feel like that's when like, yo, that's a fire track, or that's a fire song, or that's a fire artist. That's like just, it's just amazing that Freedom did that for me, bro. Where I was like, bro, like I listened to it, like you were like, oh yo, hop on the SoundCloud, and I was like, yeah, like mindlessly just doing it, you know what I mean? And then I listened to it, and I was like, bro, I talk to this dude every day, bro. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and you're spitting some crazy ass bars, man. And like that shit was.
I appreciate that, bro. It's good to hear that, and I'm glad you guys enjoy the music. It's like I love making the music. But it's art for me. So like I'm very critical of it, putting it out. I think most artists are, you know, maybe when they put their art out, they're like, damn, is it gonna be well received? Is it not? So on and so on. But I think the more people that hear those songs, you know, especially, you know, when some of those incidents were happening on a regular basis, it just gave them, you know, a feeling. You know, it's like you could take that song and, you know, say, okay, what was happening around 2016, and you know why it was written, you know.
It's just tough, bro. I think that the premise of the song is like a crazy idea of like the freedom, like what truly is freedom, because there's so many, like it might look free from the outside, but from the, if you really live in it, it's not free, you know what I mean? So like, what is freedom? That's like an idea that I got while I was listening to that. I was like, damn, bro, like I don't know if you ever heard the song "What's Free" by Meek Mill. Yeah, like that kind of like reminds me of like something like "What's free." You know, he says free is when the TV ain't controlling what we see. Like, yo, like there's so many, like, again, we were talking about the influence like already too, like and I think, you know, in combination with the quote that Vic even brought up, like it's crazy how, you know, some things are like, you know, are accepted for white people or whatever, you know, literally mass shootings, bro, and they don't get treated the way that is like some black people do, you know. and it's just so weird. So it's like what is freedom? When is it gonna ever feel free for anybody, bro? Like this shit is just weird. It's weird, bro.
I think everyone traditionally hops on a bandwagon, like right now with like the Black Lives Matter thing. A lot of people hopping on the bandwagon and riding it for now, and then they'll get off because they don't see it as a fun ride no more. But there's some serious issues surrounding, people of color, like, even in our own community. Like you touched on it in the book with Mr. Gilmore. He talked about, having the differences between white and black, but then going down south and having the differences between black and black. I can relate that story to growing up in the hood. And the time that I was growing up, there was still racism where we were getting called niggas, spit in the face, and so on. And then I still had problems with gangs down the street. So I wasn't liked by nobody. So I wasn't in a gang, but I wasn't white either. So it's like, where am I? Like, who am I? What's my identity? I'm not black enough to be cool over here. I'm definitely not white, so I'm not cool over there. So then you had this, dichotomy going on.
It's like this. It's like a confusion within yourself of who you are, because like they like, you know what I mean, like them dudes look like you, but they don't accept you, and then them dudes don't look nothing like you, and you can't relate to anything of them, but it's stuck between those parallel worlds. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, and like you have another song, bro. It's called Windows, bro, and that's like more recent, bro. That song sums up like, wow, most people were feeling during this fucking pandemic, bro. That shit's crazy, bro. Like, yo, you're talking about like how many fucking Zoom meetings can we have in this job? Like, bro,
while we're on Zoom right now.
Yeah, while we're on Zoom. Shout out to Zoom, right? But like, it's like, like the way of the world, bro, has changed, bro. It's like crazy, bro. Like, for example, like people were doing interviews, things like that in person and shit like that. But now, because of this pandemic, we're doing it through a screen, bro. And it's like, I don't know, bro. I be thinking, man, like, yo, is this shit gonna be forever, bro? Like, I hate wearing a fucking mask and shit, bro.
Yeah, but that song was all real too, man. Because I got fired on Zoom. You know what I'm saying? I got laid off on Zoom. That was all real for me. Like,
it's crazy, bro.
Cutting my own hair, feeling like a wildebeest. Like I need to go jogging. Was when that black I think Ahmaud Arbery went jogging and he got shot. So that was kind of the play on that. I'm looking like a wildebeest, and I need to go jogging. Oops, they shooting again. I guess that's not an option. So it's like a hidden bar inside of that line. But
you didn't catch that, bro, right?
Nah, that went over my head. That did go over my head,
bro.
I do that for you, Vic. I do that for you.
Yeah, bro. That went over my head, bro. I listened to that song like at least like fucking 30 times, and at least like 10 times today, bro, and that shit went over my. I'm tight now.
It, bro.
I gotta listen to it again, bro, and I gotta.
I think that's the fun thing about hip hop for me, is because you can go back, like well-written art. You can go back and be like, yo, I didn't know that. Like I still listen to old artists, and I'm like, yo, I never caught that. You know what I'm saying? And I love that about hip hop. I love that about some music, that you can go back and catch things.
That's when it's art, though. There's so many people I agree with you with the way that the culture is now. It's just like, yo, people be saying some bullshit, bro. Scoopity poop pop, and then all of a sudden it's a hit, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just so weird.
No, but there's some great artists out here too. So I don't want to.
I like hip hop when it's art. I like hip hop even when it's just bumping, like whatever. But like when I get to like listen, and I'm like when I can't even like. There's so many songs that I'd be like, yo, this is a fire ass song, and I can't rap the words or nothing because it's just so much
it's mumbling, bro.
It's just like, wow, it's just so the words are so deep and this and that. There's no way I'm gonna learn the lyrics of that song. It's just like, I'm just listening to do with it to like, wow, just to think about the shit. Like sometimes it's just the environment that it creates while you're listening to that shit. I'd be like, yo, what the hell? And then I'd be in a deep thought like about some crazy shit. That's the art. That's art.
Yeah.
Other than that, the radio hits it, sing along, have a good time.
The thing about
but that's not bad. That's still good. I enjoy the radio hits.
Some radio hits are fire, Drake hits, you feel me? But some hits are fire. But some shit, but I be listening to like, what the fuck are we listening to? Like when 6ix9ine was popping off, bro. I was like, yo,
get up in their face.
Yeah, like I was like, what the?
I mean, it's
like
intense.
this, like
it's
he's
a vibe.
like, you know what I mean? Or Lil Pump talking about like fucking drugs and shit, like, and it like, and they're shining the light on that. Like we were talking about, bro, how like the media will fucking shine a light on bullshit, bro. And I feel like because like everyone, it's like in the media, bro. It's in the limelight, and everyone pays attention to it. So the casual listener is not listening to the gems that people actually have. Like it, like for rappers like you, bro. Fucking, I don't know. You can name any, but Corday, bro. Whoever. Luke Barr. Shout out to Luke Bars, bro. Whatever.
Shout out to Luke Bars.
Whoever it may be, right? Like it gets diluted, bro. Like so, then I feel like the beauty of like what we're saying, like where you could go back to a song you haven't heard in 10 years. You listen to it. You've listened to that song 300 times. The 301st time, oh shit, I never realized this bar said this and that. You know what I mean? But all that beautifulness of hip hop, I feel like gets diluted because the media, all they want is fucking Percocets, Molly Percocets.
They want that, but they also took the control away from DJs. You know, DJs were like news reporters for the hood. You know, so like when there was new music, they played it, and you know, it wasn't that you didn't have a playlist of like 10 songs all day. You know what I'm saying? It was like, no, we're gonna play, you know, this new record just dropped by X, Y, and Z. You know, we're gonna drop his record. Y'all call and let me know what y'all think. The fans would call in and vote on those records and be like, yo, that joint's dope, whatever. And they would keep it in rotation. You know what I'm saying? So the DJs had a lot more control back then. Now you got computer engineers sitting behind a program just putting their favorite 10 songs in, or the songs that they want to push. To your point, the new conglomerates that run the industry, they say, hey, just keep pushing this drugs, sex, and whatever on these kids. They know it's destructive, bro, but hey, what can you do at that point?
It goes back to the thing you were talking about, the capitalistic world, bro.
Yeah.
Human beings will do certain things, bro, that necessarily is not good because of a dollar, bro, because of the amount of money they're gonna get, bro. That's kind of sad, bro. That's kind of sad. Like, what do you like? People are willing to sacrifice their life, bro, for $1, bro.
Yeah, I think I told my brother one time, I was like, yo, if you ever like, I don't know, I was like, yo, I want to hire you to be like my backup. This is like when science still is like my shit, but like when I like I was like, yo, if I ever hire you to work in my lab, I'm gonna ask you one, if you're influenced by money. And he was like, I am influenced by money. That's what I want. I was like, well, then I can't trust you, bro. Because if you're influenced by money, if you'll do whatever the fuck you need to do to get money, bro. How am I supposed to trust anybody if you're like, yo, I'll bend over backwards to get $1, bro? Like, yo, nah, how am I supposed to trust you? All of a sudden, you know, oh, yo, and let me offer you this little bit, and you're turning your back on me, like just because of that money, bro. You know, there's no trust in that shit, bro.
But that's the morals. Like I said, some of the old stuff, right? When you take back, like we had that conversation earlier on, is that you go back to some of the old where we had rules to things, right? So even the gangs and the mobs back then, they had codes. You know what I'm saying? The loyalty was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, honor and all these things, you know, they were big things, right? And now when you look at gang activity, like a lot of that stuff is not that way. You know what I'm saying? Like the way Nipsey Hussle got shot and stuff like that, that shit was stupid. You know what I'm saying? So like the streets
Pop Smoke
like,
in his own crib, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like the things are out of control, bro. Like when you got your own people setting you up for chips, bro.
Yeah.
It's like then you don't have the right people around you, first of all, bro. And you know, it's really upsetting to see some of these things happen to some of these young people, you know, and some of these OGs, man, because it's just not necessary. You know, and like you said, it's all over for $1. But then when that dollar runs out, I mean, Kevin Hart, one of Kevin Hart's boys tried to rob him for a certain amount of money. Okay, now that relationship's tarnished, you'll never be able to tap in ever again.
Never.
Was it worth it, bro? You know, like, so when you betray that trust, like you really got to understand, is it worth it? Is it really worth it to do that for $1? If someone can come to you, put a couple dollars in your hand, you're gonna turn on your brother, and y'all been brothers forever.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, there is literally, I think that's crazy how money will get rid of your morals like this. For some people, at least, like you really gotta be strong-headed for some reason. Like when it comes to money, like I think one thing that we say all the time is that when you get money, it's it kind of highlights, you know, the traits that you had before you had money, even if you didn't know. Like if you were mad greedy before, you're gonna be even more greedy when you're there, bro. But if you were like a good person, you know, you care about the people around you. If you're rich, you're just gonna be able to do that better. You know what I mean? Provide for those people around you, which is.
But that just goes back to our point about power corrupting, because money is considered that power, right? So
it brings power for sure.
Yeah. So even if you're the man with all the power, the people next to you got to be somewhat powerful, or they're going to take you out. So it's like, what about their power in regards to everyone under them? You know, so like that power influences and that power corrupts, you know, and so far in our society, that money has been power, you know?
But the thing about money is it's all an illusion. Like, for example, the famous J. Cole interview where he's like, yo, all I wanted to do was chase the money. I was chasing the money. I got $1 million. I wanted 10. I wanted 10. I wanted 50. And then it's like, I wanted $1 billion, whatever the numbers are. He's saying that. And it's like, and then he, like, when he got to the top, he finally got all the money he wanted and all the accolades or whatever. He realized, he looked around. He's like, damn, I'm not happy, bro. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like a sad story. You know what I mean? You work your hardest for something you probably didn't even give a fuck about, and then you're not even happy, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be, I mean, I don't know. I've never been a rich man, but I'm going to say I'd rather be a poor man, but happy as shit, than be the richest man alive, but be alone, bro. You know what I mean?
You ever see that movie Shark Tale?
I haven't seen that shit in a long time.
I haven't seen that since I was a little kid, though. Will Smith does the
main character.
He does the main character. He does Oscar, right?
He ended up getting it all, right? And was unhappy. You know, he was unhappy.
I gotta watch it again, bro.
I watched that shit when I was like 4, bro. I never watched that shit again, bro.
It's one of my favrites, though.
I gotta watch. Yeah, I've never seen.
He got it all. He got it all. He got the pretty girl, the big penthouse, everything. Unhappy. Then wanted to go back to normal life with the regular girl. But I mean, being happy.
I feel like that's a lot of people. Like, who is it? I think Redman says, like, I'd rather live in the hood because I feel safer, bro.
Yeah, you see it as MTV Cribs.
Yeah,
classic, classic, bro. Classic.
Yeah, like I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's why. Like, if people notice, right, and famous people that have got to the top say, like, yo, money's not shit, then why the fuck is the world convinced that that's the way to do it, bro? That's the way. Yeah. That's what we have to fucking die for. That's what we have to.
I think it's because when you don't have money, it feels like it's heavy on you, bro. When you're struggling, like imagine living paycheck to paycheck, bro. You got no choice but to think about money because it's dependent on your survival. So if you're rich, you're gonna feel like, oh, everything's solved because I don't have to worry about that money part. But then when you don't have to worry about the money part is when you realize, oh shit, like what do I do with the rest of my time in my life, bro? Who am I gonna be with myself? Yeah. And then that's when those questions start to sit in, when you're like, oh, when money's not the issue. When money's the issue, that's why I think it's great. Like, you know, we had Johan, that song, that Phaser song by Johan Lennox and Cousin Stiz. The fact that he, you know, Johan on that song is like, yo, like, oh, you know, everybody going through their phases, I don't give a fuck. And then Cousin Stiz comes back and he's like, yo, I don't even question it. I see a bag and I go get it. Like, that's just like, cause that's where we come from. That's like, yo, all you know is struggle. All you know is I gotta get it so that I don't have to struggle anymore.
Right.
So that seems like the answer, because you're struggling because you're like, oh shit, I don't got food to eat. Yo, I'm struggling. I don't got nowhere to live. I don't got money. Yeah, right. That's the issue. So then when you solve that issue, you think everything's solved, but it's not, because then you start realizing, oh, now what do I do with myself, bro? Now you got the time and the comfort to be able to question that shit.
Yeah, because everybody around you, once you get money, is usually fake.
Fake, bro. Fake.
I mean, I talk to Mr. Gilmore about that all the time. He's like, the fake people that come around and stuff like that. So it's very rare to have authentic people in your company. When you're broke and rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people that have been, you know, like what they would call day ones, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people that have been around you from the start. And then when you got rich, you know, they didn't change on you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a rarity, you know?
Yeah.
And we talked about this the other day where I was like, I was asking you for advice because I was like, bro, I want to ask Johan Lennox, like, I want to ask him, like, yo, can you put me on with these people, this and that? And I was telling you, but I'm trying to be genuine. Like, I genuinely like his music. I genuinely like like how he came on the show, how he treated us. He was a beast, bro. But then I didn't want to come off as like, oh, I put him on the show just so I could get in connects with this guy. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
where's that like balance, bro? Like you know what I mean? How do you sound genuine but not sound like you're just
But I
there
think
to
the advice
take
I
advantage
gave
of
you,
whatever the
I think the advice I gave you was just like, people come into your life for a reason, and everybody's using somebody somehow, some way. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think it's offensive to ask, somebody for a solid and just say, hey, listen, do you know anyone else that would benefit from being on, the show? And then it's a respectful way to do it. It's not like you coming out like, yo, in a desperation plea, like trying to twist his arm or something. Like, you're just saying, listen, we really appreciate it. So I think, to answer your question, it's just the approach. It's just like, how do you deliver the message? Is it coming off desperate, or is it coming off like, yo, I'd love to do that for you. You get that automatic response.
I do think that shit's tough because it's like it's hard to get people to trust you when they're so untrustworthy. Like this shit's fake. There's mad fake. Like, this world is fake. You know what I mean? It's built on fakeness. The IG and all this shit
the
is like,
facades,
it's
bro.
just facade. A lot of fake. A lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of this. Right. So it's kind of like I understand people for being untrustworthy when somebody's like, oh, yo, I like your music, this and that. Like, yo, but like, when you're genuinely actually like somebody's music, I don't know what to do, bro. Like, I genuinely like enjoy a lot of, like, I honestly, anytime somebody's enjoying something that they're doing with their life, I enjoy that because I know it's so tough out here for people to find things that they truly enjoy. So if you got anything that you enjoy, whatever it is, I feel I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, you're a beast for doing that shit, because it's like, yo, like I've found so many times where I've struggled to even be like be alive and be like, yeah, I'm happy I'm alive. Like, sometimes I'll be like, yo, life is just weird, bro. And I
Right.
felt, I feel this way, right? So then when when I found out I could just enjoy life by not giving a fuck and just enjoying it for what it is, when I see people doing the same thing, is when I'm like, yo, I feel mad happy for them. And like, and that's always genuine coming from me, because that's just how I am as a person. But how do I tell that person, yo, you could trust me, bro? You could trust me. I truly,
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Like,
But I think it's actions though, man. Like, because like, words don't mean a lot,
Yeah, that's true.
Anymore. You know what I'm saying? But somebody sees your actions, they see how you carry yourself, they see how you handle your podcast, they see how you represented them on your podcast. If we're just talking about the podcast, but I'm sure this can go in any lane.
Yeah.
But I think right now, like I said, like, things will always go back to the real. And the real was always your actions. Like, what did you do? Like, I know what you said, but what did you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think people will go back to that and want to like say, your actions speak louder than words. You know what I'm saying? If you say you're gonna be there for me, was you there for me? Nah. Were you in my corner when I needed you? Nah. Like, you said you were gonna hold it down, you didn't hold it down. Nah. So I have something to judge you on now. You know what I'm saying? And I think, in regards to you guys reaching out to people, I mean, it's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to ask. I think it should almost be like automatic asking your guests, like, do you know anyone else who could benefit from being on the platform? We love interviewing people. So it just be like a pitch. And it's not, I think it's almost like what I say in the store, Vic, when I'm telling people how to push accessories. Like, it's a soft ask. The worst thing they could say is no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the worst thing they're gonna say? No, you're gonna crack when they say no? No, you're gonna go back to doing what you was doing anyway. Call the next person.
I feel that. Yeah, no,
I like that one, bro.
Yeah, nah, true. Cause I'm
simple answer.
Yeah, cause I like
powerful.
Me and Jason, we try to be our truest selves on this show. Like, yo, like earlier when I was
not just on the show. Like, I really try, because of the show, I try to be my true self all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And this just doing it on the show makes it feel even easier when I'm back in person, because I'm like, if I could do it in front of whoever's watching, I could do it by myself anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like I had to just
no. I was gonna say like we always say, oh, we got podcast sessions that we just have on the phone, bro. I call this dude regularly, bro. Like on my walks to work and shit, bro. I be calling him, bro. right? But like earlier, what I was gonna say is earlier, right? Like I was fucking stumbling and fucking my mind was spinning because I had like 8 ideas and none of them would want to like leave the door to say, to say. So I was like, fuck, I was like struggling, but that's just I'm just being my truest self. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna tell Jason, yo, edit that out because this now I don't care, bro. You know what I mean?
Yo, Jason, edit that out, bro.
Nah,
because I gotta make him look good, bro.
Nah, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like that was just me. That was my genuine reaction to my thought process. You know what I mean? So why would I take that out? That's the realness of it, bro. You know what I mean? The oohs and ahs, that was just me being myself at the moment. Like I just stumbled on my words, and that's cool. And like I don't know, I just like because I try to be as genuine as possible on camera and off. Like you know what I mean? I didn't want to. I don't know. I didn't want to come out like, yo, do me a solid because I put you on my show. I didn't want to come off as like some guy, like some spineless dude,
Yeah, but I think when you're in a business, like it's natural for me, like in sales, right? Like I sell somebody a car, and then my natural response to them, like, do you know anyone else that could benefit from my services? Because in sales, referrals are king, right? You provide somebody awesome service. The natural thing is to follow up with a referral. Listen, how many of your friends and family do you think, if I reached out to them would be interested in using the service? Oh, all of them. Okay, do you have a list of people that I can give a call? That's kind of essentially the same thing that you guys would be doing in a sense where you just be talking to the guests and saying, hey, listen, you know what, really appreciate you coming on the podcast. Appreciate the time and energy. It was a great one. Just wanted to know if you know anyone that else would benefit from being on the show. It's a simple, small ask. It's nothing. It's really nothing if you really think about it. And I think most people wouldn't even be offended by it.
Cool. Yeah,
so you can ask me after we get off. It'd be like practice speed.
I got you, bro. Nah, maybe it's because I just overthink it, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to feel like I don't know. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Like
Nah, but I think they'll get the wrong idea if you come with the wrong idea, because that's the action.
That is true.
Facts.
I mean, we genuinely want to just keep going with this shit, bro. We want to just keep growing. So if we just asking, it's just being genuine ourselves either way, right?
Genuine, bro. You just
literally, I hear you, bro. You talking about with the randomest people. I'll be, at a party, bro. We'd be pulling up, and 5 minutes in, I'd be talking to somebody. I'd be here in the background. Yeah, this podcast I got, bro, and I'd be like looking back, and it's just fucking big yelling at somebody about the podcast again, bro.
Oh shit, nah. I'm always yelling, bro. I'm yelling about Drake being the GOAT, bro. Fucking Kobe being the GOAT. I'm always yelling about something, bro.
I just want to know what the GOAT criteria is before we start.
Oh, we gotta, bro. Oh man, I should have wrote it down. I should have wrote out the GOAT. Yo, speaking of the GOAT, bro, I got a quote here, bro. I want to see what you think about this quote. All right, this quote is from Funk Flex, bro. He says,
"Who's Funk Flex?
You know who Funk Flex is?
No.
All right. Anyways, his name. He says Drake is a better rapper than Jay-Z. What are your thoughts, bro?
I think he froze, bro. Oh shit! No, he did. Yo, I thought he actually did.
That shit don't process, bro. I don't understand.
Yo, Funk Flex, he's a notable guy, bro. Everyone knows him, bro. And he's saying Jersey Drake is better than Jay-Z, bro.
Everyone knows Santa Claus too, and he's fake, so I don't know. I don't know, bro. That's blasphemous, bro. And the reason I'll say that is because, listen, it's different eras, yeah. Is Drake a great lyricist? Yes. Is he? I just think people really have to listen to the body of work that Jay-Z has laid down when you're having that conversation about GOATs. And the man's body of work is freaking unbelievable. Like I was listening to 444 today, and I was just going through it again, and I'm just hearing stuff that I didn't hear the first, second, third time. I'm like, damn, man, this dude, like the triple, double entendres, the way his wordplay, the way he ties things in. Yo, I don't think Drake's in the same breath. And I think Funk Flex is the only person that would say that, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I think if you put a room in the room, some of the best DJs in New York, and I don't know if Funk Flex would be in the top 10, but I think most of them would tell you that argument is flawed, bro.
True.
Yeah.
True. Nah, bro, you know who Funk Flex is, bro?
Nah, I don't know who.
He's a big New York DJ, man. Hot 97.
Yeah, he has people like freestyle on his stuff too, bro. You probably seen the freestyles, but you probably don't know the show, bro.
One of Black Thought was probably the most iconic freestyle on his shows. He did like
Black Thought is.
Yeah. He's just like some DJ guy, bro. I was trying to ruffle his feathers, bro.
I didn't take the bait fully, bro.
I know.
I pretended to freeze on you, like.
Nah, I might be biased because like when I started, not when I started getting into hip hop, but just like when I like.
That's what we grew up on, bro.
Yeah, we grew up on Drizzy Drake.
2011, Drizzy Drake.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
And like,
I know how that is, but I guess if you're gonna have a GOAT conversation, bro, in all fairness, you have to like for me, like, I guess there's a conversation that could be had about who created hip hop. You know, Kool Herc. But then, in my opinion, I think James Brown's one of the illest, you know, as far as hip hop goes, when you listen to a song like King Heroin. If you guys have never heard that song.
You showed me that song, right?
It is unfreaking believable from a lyrical perspective.
Shit's crazy, bro.
One of the most iconic poems ever written on beat. So to me, that's hip hop. But then do you take credit away from someone like Dolomite, who was doing it like just snapping and rapping? They call it snapping back in the days, where you were almost like cracking on people a little bit. You know, he says, I was born in a barrel butcher knife, shot in the ass with 2 Colt 45. You know, he would just come out and say like wild stuff. So do you take, because he wasn't a traditional rapper, do you take stuff away from him? And that's the argument we always have, Vic, is like, there was a lane and highways being built. And just because these new school rappers can come and drive at high speeds, they didn't put the work in to build these lanes and highways. You know what I'm saying? So are they truly the GOAT? Like, yeah, Drake's changed the game, but would you really like base what criteria are we basing GOATs on? You know what I'm saying? Is it just record sales? Like what is it?
But all right, so a question I have is, when it's all said and done, is there a possibility for Drake to be a GOAT? Is that just done?
Not in my mind, bro.
Nah, it's like, bro, this is what I'm saying. Cause it's like, all right, you go.
Because what you say, okay, the argument between LeBron and Jordan, 2 different generations. Yeah, most people will tell you that Jordan was in a generation where the league was much tougher. You were fighting against people like the Detroit Pistons. And, you know, like you had like people practically brawling to ball, bro.
Yeah.
This is like fist fight ball. You know what I'm saying? The league's so soft now. People can jump from team to team, create super teams all over the place. And it's a different league. Does that take anything away from LeBron? No, but I mean, I think that conversation about who's a better player or who might be a threat at the end of the game versus, you know, I think you can't take that from some people. And then if you're gonna have, and then there's always gonna be unique people in each generation. You know what I'm saying? So like, so when Drake's time's over, is the next dude better than Drake? And then if that kid grew up listening to that next dude, does that disqualify Jay-Z because he never heard Jay-Z's music or catalog? Because I'm sure there's music and catalogs that you guys didn't hear from, just like, you know, Jay didn't know who Funk Flex is. So there's a lot of music that we're leaving off the table.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you really categorize the GOAT? You know?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's tough. I think it's a pointless conversation. It's fun. Like, it's funny to be able to argue.
It's like clickbait, bro. It's like
it's like clickbait.
You know what I'm saying?
It's to, like, you know, it's to get people's feathers riled.
That's why Flex said it, because he could put it in a line on a
yeah, it was up, bro. I searched.
He knows all of New York is gonna be like, what? That's cancel culture for him. So that's gonna get him all the clicks, and his name's gonna be up in Twitter trending or something. That's what he did it for.
That was the only dude I could find that was on my side, bro. And Funk Flex is like known for being like a troll, bro. He'll just come up with like goofy ass shit. Like he'll say like shit like that all the time. But nah, this is what I'm. All right, so I know, I understand like the history of it, the lane being paved, you know what I mean, for someone like Drake. But what like, all right, the father came before the son, right? Like obviously your dad came before, like my dad came before me. But if I exceed my dad, I'm better than him, right? I could be the GOAT,
In
right?
what way did you exceed your dad?
Like what? Like I don't know.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what
Let me rephrase that. Did you benefit from anything your dad gave you, or did you create it on your own?
yeah, but all right.
But yes or no?
Yes, all right. Yes, I
Oh,
benefited
you
from my
did.
dad. But
Okay,
then
but your dad didn't though.
what if I
Okay, no. Just real quick. Your dad didn't though.
okay.
You did though.
Okay.
So that's an unfair advantage, yes or no?
But it's not
But
his
that's not
fault.
my fault.
Is it
not his
okay? It's not
fault.
your fault, but that don't make you better than me if I did it on my own.
But it doesn't make doesn't why does it
That's
make
what I'm
that he
saying.
can't
So
be better, though?
yeah,
Bro,
so
if
that's
I
what I'm
did
saying.
it
So
on my
because
own with nothing. I mean,
yeah,
I'm using my own resources, everything. Like I'm coming up with everything on my mind. Obviously, and depending on the time that I did it in, you have to at least give it that was probably a tougher road than me handing you something and then you just moving on with it.
No, I
Like the
agree.
work that I put in is 10 times the work you put in.
I agree.
Now I get it. Like every generation is supposed to be easy if I'm passing something down, but if I was the one that initiated that work, that means I created the foundation of what you were to inherit.
But then there's no passing of the torch. Like, you know what I mean? There's no like, that's like saying a king can only be a king, and then even if he dies, bro, he's still the king, bro. It has
No,
to.
I'm
I
just
feel like the
saying, no,
throne
because
has
we're
to be
talking
passed,
about, you're
bro.
talking about goats. If it's a king, yeah, naturally you're gonna have a successor.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm
He's
saying.
still rapping and dropping bars. He just dropped one the other day that was freaking insane, bro. So like I mean, he's not slowing down. Like I could see if Jay was like starting to spit like whack bars now, and you be like, yeah, Drake's definitely surpassing. Like the man's still spitting 5 bars, bro. He's not even, he ain't taking no days off, bro.
Yeah.
And he's out here buying companies and conglomerates, leaving a road, pretty much a model for other rappers to do the same.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not taking nothing away from you, man, but I'm just saying, like, I give a lot of credit to that. The other thing I give a lot of credit to is that he is what he raps about. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z's not a fake dude, bro. Like he came from that life. He talked about that life. And then he inspired people to do better. And then he was always about the community. And he would always talk about activism in his rap music. And that's one of the issues I have with Drake, is that he never really came out and said anything even close to that.
Yeah.
Especially when all of this stuff was happening, I was just like, damn, he's, you know, Molly Perkins said, okay, yeah, I get it. But what about these kids that are going through this now? You ain't got nothing to say about that? No, we're going to put Hotline Bling or something now.
Nah, that is true. Like I think the closest thing to activism he's ever done is God's Plan, the video, bro, where he's giving out $1 million or something. But I just like, I don't know. I still feel like, all right, I understand like the pave the way, but is that like so there's no possibility that someone that came after, like let's say Jay-Z, it doesn't have to be Drake, can't be the GOAT, bro?
Yo, that's gonna be a different generation. I'm just, for me, my concept of GOAT, my criteria is gonna be different than yours, because mine is based on real rap, somebody that did exactly what they said, somebody that, you know, changed the game completely from the time he came in. He came in with Rockefeller Records, ended up being the president, then dropped the president, went on to build a freaking empire. You know what I'm saying? And has insulated himself with companies and all the like to keep building his brand. You know what I'm saying? That has now become a blueprint and a model for a lot of, and Diddy had inspired that, because Diddy, you got to give Diddy credit because he was one of the first to do that as well. And then if you're really gonna say who was one of the first to do that, you got to give credit to LL Cool J. So there's a lot of people you can leave off the table when you start. Am I saying Jay-Z can be the only GOAT? No, but I'm just saying, as far as me, as far as I'm concerned, the body of work, as far as the consistency and lyrics and the content that he puts out and how he puts it out, I'm like, I just think he has an amazing body of work. Drake is a talented rapper. He has, you know, dope beats and all of that. But my preference is Hov, bro. That's my personal preference. I just think the dude's a freaking animal. And I think lyrically, Drake can't compete if they like the Pound Cake record, bro. We listened to it together.
I still go back. I listened to that the other day, bro. I was
the
like,
verses don't come close, bro.
I don't know, bro. Drake's verses are crazy. Like, bro, cake, like, and then he gives a list off of people he's made rich, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like the bars, like when I hear it, it pretty much he's like, I made it. This is what I'm doing. This is who I made rich. That's it. I feel like Drake had like a whole story in his bars.
Oh, because he said he took people, he go to his high school reunion and show off. I made it.
He said he go to his high school reunion and the dudes that were making fun of him, he hired security and they got to go through his security team to even get to the fucking party, bro.
Okay, so isn't that I made it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Just asking, bro.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. But, yo, I'm telling you, I'm going to listen to all of Jay-Z's work. I'm going to listen to Drizzy Drake's work for the millionth time, bro. I'm going to go bar for bar, bro. And then I'm going to give you an answer, bro.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised to see that your man Jay is a lot more impactful than you have pegged him to be. You know what I'm saying? Dude, he's a beast, bro. He's a beast.
He is a beast. Like, yo, those bars. I told you, I was like, damn.
Listen to the song that Jay brought up. Was Free. Wasn't Jay on that?
Yeah, he was.
And he freaking choked that verse, didn't he?
I know Rick. Oh no, he is. Jay-Z
Yo,
and Rick Ross.
he killed that
song.
Jay-Z and Rick Ross. Yeah.
And he killed that joint.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
And he killed that joint on Three Kings on Rick Ross's album.
Yeah, nah, bro. I feel like, all right.
He kills every verse he's on, bro. Come on, man.
He kills a lot of verses, but I feel like compared to
just both be goats, bro. They're both fire. This is why I think the conversation is so pointless.
Because it's the greatest of all time.
Because you can go left, right. You can jab, bob, weave, whatever you want, bro. But he's gonna think Jay-Z and you're gonna think Drake. So it doesn't matter. Let's just listen to the music and smoke a joint.
But Nas's album, King's Disease is an amazing album, and y'all gotta go check out Black Thought's new joint, man. There's some amazing talent out here, man. We can't forget about all these other great MCs and lyricists, female lyricists that are out here.
I hate when you do it. This man, like if he's got something, when it's gonna be another bullshit. Right?
Nah, is Nas the GOAT then? Because Jay-Z was influenced by that man, bro.
I mean, that could be a conversation.
Cause like,
but I think Nas's body of work, as much as I love Nas and I'm a huge Nas fan, I think his body of work doesn't compare to what Jay-Z's put out, bro.
Yeah, you're right. I was trying to spark some. Nah, you're right. It's because Nas, I feel like, died out while Jay-Z still like fucking. You mentioned his name, and you know what I mean. Oh man, it's Jay-Z.
Nah, but that was probably one of the most epic battles in history, hip hop history. I mean,
that shit was
Nas
crazy.
Jay-Z battle was, I mean,
Nas won
one of the most epic battles of all time, bro.
Nas won that.
Nas definitely won it, but it was
you know
just.
What I'm talking about Ether, bro.
Is that a song?
Yo, it's just that the way that whole thing went down, because it wasn't a social media thing. Yeah. Everything was communicated through mixtapes. So it was a different time. Like everyone was waiting for the new joint to drop and the mixtape sales was going nuts. And like, that was a different time, like you didn't have someone telling you on social media that the new joint dropped. You had to wait till the new mixtape dropped. DJ Clue and Funk Flex and all these guys was dropping mixtapes. And that's where you got your hood news at.
Imagine that though. Like, bro, you got to run to a store, get your copy, bro, and then fucking listen to see if they
no,
dissed
it was
each other.
Sold on the streets, bro. It wasn't sold on the stores. There was no tie. They wasn't selling mixtapes in Tower Records.
I thought you guys were buying shit at Strawberry.
I was like dudes at the train station selling CDs, bro, or selling cassettes, man.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, when Back to Back came out, bro, that was like,
bro, that shit. As soon as it came out, bro, real, people were writing down the bars, bro, on Twitter, bro. That's crazy, bro. Damn. Yeah. I don't know. Like, yo, bro, man.
I told you though. I don't know. I just enjoy music, bro. I just be like, I just listen to that shit, bro. I mean, but I'm not one for these kind of conversations because one, I don't have enough background in nothing, bro.
Bro, you started listening to hip hop in 2019, bro.
In general, music, bro, because I was just I I like silence more than anything, to be honest. Still, sometimes I just sit in my car like this in silence because it's easy to think.
So what do you think about when you sit in silence?
Bro,
a lot.
It's like a lot, bro.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll be thinking about, oh, this is a problem in the world. Let me see if I could try to solve it in my head, and then I'll, play with the ideas, or I'll think about, something like, oh, this happened today in the day. What does that mean for my life? I mean, I that's one thing I do. I reflect a lot. I'm constantly reflecting.
That's
And
cool.
in the music, I be getting distracted because I get too into the music. I'll be like, and then I need time to think.
Don't play no DMX around him, bro.
Yo,
DMX is one of my favorites.
That's my guy, bro.
I used to be in the gym. What's that song where he goes?
X gonna give it to you. He go, bro. That's just a force.
What
bro.
does he say? He's like, I'm gonna bust up in your eye just so you can see me coming. I was like, lifting. I was like, I'm gonna bust up in your eyes just so you can see me coming in the gym. And then they were like, yo, you gotta relax. I was like, oh shit, my fault. That's a bar, bro. I'm gonna bust up in your eyes so you can see me coming. Like, yo, that's a fucking bar, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yo, nah, but yo, even like, bro, Jay-Z gives like, bro, when he won the Grammy, he was like, nah, DMX should have won 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that like I really like about our era, bro, is that we weren't afraid to pay homage to the cats before us. And I feel like this generation now, it's almost like we were talking about earlier, the disrespect, respecting your elders kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like we have too much pride to say like, yo, this person was an influence to me and I respect them, and whatever the case may. And there's a few people in between that have done that, but I'm just saying the overall group seems to have this disdain or disrespect for cats like Scarface, DMX, or like Ice Cube and what have you. And these cats have actually built bridges and changed the game in their own right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like those cats shouldn't be forgotten about just because we got some new hot thing over here. It's like when you see like old soul bands still getting out here and performing, that's what I would like to see with old school hip hop, is like still old acts out here performing, because that's the only way young people get to experience it. You know what I'm saying? So if we don't have a place where, some of the old school acts can perform, you're throwing that history away. So like the OJ still perform, and some of these other bands still perform, and that music still lives on. But some of the hip hop music doesn't live on because there's no respect paid to it. And it's like, oh man, I'm not gonna go see that. And it's just like, that's part of that history. That's part of that culture that you say you appreciate. So why wouldn't you want to go? It's like if you go listen to a jazz band in Scullers at the Doubletree Hotel in Cambridge, it might be a band doing a tribute. That's not the actual band that played the song, but you can still appreciate the music. So like I think that respect for the music, man, is lost a little bit on this new generation, man.
I something that I missed out on saying earlier was, I think that in general, it's just kind of like a push towards disrespect in general.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like the vibe, is just being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like there's
that's trendy, bro.
There's the thing where you choose violence or whatever. That's like a quote. That's like the trend or whatever. It's like, it's cool to be disrespectful. Cause it's funny, right? Like imagine like that. It's funny, yeah, right. It's not cool, but it's funny. Like imagine what's that? The Logan Pauls and the Jake Pauls.
Oh, the YouTubers.
The YouTubers that just talk mad shit. Everybody gets hyped because they're talking mad shit, and then all of a sudden they become like mad rich because of that culture. Right. You gotta talk mad shit, and then.
But that shit's bullshit, bro. Cause it always dies down. It's like what Bobby was saying. The authenticity comes out. Like, for example. Yeah, Jake Paul's talking all this shit, but I don't know if you guys watched the press conference with Ben Askren. He's trying to like roast Ben Askren, and then he says some like nonsense, and like the crowd is crickets, bro. He doesn't no one cheers or nothing, and then he slaps his head and he's like, "Fuck, that was stupid." No shit, bro, because you're trying to act like some tough ass dude, bro, and then. You know what I mean? Like Ben Askren is he's a Olympian. He's a UFC. He fought in the UFC. He did all this shit. But then Ben Askren literally pushes him. And all Jake Paul does, out of all the shit he says, he's a tough guy or whatever, he punched him in the stomach, bro. Don't do that to me, bro. Stop. That's what he did, bro. And it's caught on camera. So you look like you know what I mean? You look like a pussy, bro. And now it's like fucking like for like the 6ix9ine, bro. He's doing all this trolling shit. Oh, I'm hard and shit, this and that. But then he was out in an interview. I saw the clip. I didn't see the interview, but he goes, "Oh, my first day, I knew I was ratting right away." You know what I mean? You lose the hardness, bro. You lose that shit because the authenticity comes out. It's gonna come out no matter what.
It was never there, bro. It's almost like you said, the money kind of exposes who you truly are. Like you're eventually gonna come out and show who you are. Like you can tell people all the time like who you are, but eventually you're gonna show in your actions who you truly are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what people forget. They're like, no, I can put this facade on. I can put this facade on. Okay, but when the pressure's on, who are you gonna be? You know, who are you going to be? Who are you going to be at that point? And I think that's what we're seeing is it's like everyone can play this facade and everyone can do this act. But then when the pressure's on, who are you going to be? You know?
Who are you going to be, bro? When the pressure's on. I hope I'm going to be the best.
I know. I always say I'm going to
be authentic, man. Be who you always were, bro.
I always say I'm going to be the greatest human being to ever live, bro. That's like my goal, bro. I feel like if that's my goal, every day I should live like
the best.
The best, yeah. I should try to be the best,
it only makes sense. Yeah. All right, yo, I think it's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
You know, the conversation's been going.
Cool. Yeah, you want?
Oh, you want me to cut it? Usually you cut it. Hey, man, you know, this has been a great episode, Bobby. Yo, it's really deep. You know, I feel like you know,
bro.
These kinds of conversations are. It's not easy to have with normal people. You know, like these are the conversations, like you know, when you have with people that are insightful. They have, the first thing we talked about was, giving that knowledge. It's like, it's cool to give that knowledge. Like you love to do that shit. I learned a lot, bro. I was sitting here just like, reflecting and learning a lot from you. Like, I appreciate, you just dropping the gems, bro. Just being yourself and being on the show with us, bro.
I appreciate the platform too, fellas,
I thank you for taking the time to be on the show, man. For real, like, like you're a beast, bro. I'm telling you, I'll be like, yo, Jason, bro, this dude said this about Drake, bro. I gotta find an argument, bro. This is that, bro. You know what I mean? And like, yo, and like I said, bro, it's like when I said in the beginning, like, yo, I respect you in a magnitude of ways, bro. And it's just because, like, again, you have, not only are you my manager, but you're cool to talk to, bro. And I wanted people to see that dynamic that you have, bro. You're a beast, bro. And I thank you for taking the time to be on my platform, bro. Like I said, bro, I thank you for believing in this dream, bro. This is like a little kid dream I've been having since I was a little kid, bro. I've been studying the Dave Lettermans and the fucking Jay Leno's and the Jimmy Fallons and whoever may be, bro. And thank you, bro. For real, bro.
No, man. Appreciate you guys, man. I just want to give a plug if I can. Can I give a couple of plugs?
Yeah, bro.
Man, I just want to tell everybody, come visit the Western Front on 121 Webster Ave, Chelsea, Mass. It's a beautiful place, Black-owned establishment. We're doing some great things. On 420, we're going to have a little event. Can't have too many people in the building, but we're going to try to do it as best we can. We got a beautiful art gallery in there. You can come see it. And we're going to try to take some of the hocus pocus away on this cannabis so everyone can come and enjoy it, understand the benefits of that. The last thing is, if you guys ever in the market and need advice, bobbycars.com is where I give out a lot of advice, and I can actually have consultations with people, 10, 15-minute consultations. It doesn't cost you a thing. I just want to set you on the right path so you don't run into any of these traps that most people want to set you up with, man. And lastly, give a shout out to you guys. Thank you again for putting me on the platform. Appreciate it. If you guys ever want to come and do it at the Western Front, we'd love to have you down there too.
Word, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, yo, it's time for the messy moment.
Messy moment. Messy moment. Messy moment.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, what I fucking tell you, week in, week out, we got none but the best guests. I'm telling you, my guy, Bobby Boyd, aka Bobby Dangereux. This man's a fucking problem. I'm telling you, he got the crazy ass experience of life, giving us crazy advice. He knows about hip hop. He knows about the world. We dove into the mind. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, by the end of this show, if you don't think this man's a beast, I don't know what the fuck you're seeing. I don't know. Yeah, you weren't fucking listening. Yo, I'm telling you, this man was bar for bar for bar. Had Jason like this.
Yeah, bro.
This man was thinking like that. This Jason has no chin hairs and was stroking the beard like this, bro. Thinking so hard, bro. I'm telling you, thinking so hard. But ladies and gentlemen, we're in the messy moment. The messy moment is a time when we can reflect, dive into this amazing conversation that we had with Bobby Boyd. Oh man, my manager. Shout out to the Western Front, 121 Webster. You got to go there. I'm telling you, premium cannabis, all you can get, except there's.
I thought you were gonna say all you can eat. I was
No,
like,
all you can get. What do you mean? All you can eat? You could eat. You could eat. All you can eat. Fucking chocolate bars, drinks, fucking gummies, fucking mints. I'm telling you, yo, it goes crazy in there. We have
those canned drinks are pretty fun.
I'm telling you, the vibe is insane, ladies and gentlemen. The people I work with are amazing people. I'm telling you.
There's like a museum in there too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to be. It's the place to be. It's the place to shop. You got to go there. I'm telling you. But all right, my messy moment, ladies and gentlemen, is out of this whole episode. I mean, I enjoyed it all. I try to bait Bobby and the GOAT talk of Drake and Jay-Z, this and that. We got into the history of hip hop and stuff. I love learning that. We just dove into the mind and I got to thinking, and I really, I started reflecting on a lot of the ideology I had. Like, it was great. But I felt like, man, out of everything's a messy moment. But if I had to pick one, it had to be like, when Bobby really, opened up about, his mom being his hero and just the experience he had growing up and how like amazing his mom is for like keeping the family together and stuff like that. Because, you guys all know, I talk about her all the time. I love my mom. My mom is my world, my mom is my everything. So when Bobby was saying that, really resonated with me, and it got, I got in my feelings. I started thinking about my mom, and I was like, damn, I got to give my mom a hug, when I get home, because I love her so much. So that's just my messy moment for you to open up on our show and just truly be yourself, man. Thank you, bro. For real.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
Hey,
what's on me?
No, it's my turn.
Okay.
All right. So first off, I just want to say, like, being able to, like, that honestly, we kind of stayed on one topic, and it was just kind of like talking about people. I love that shit, bro, because it's just like we're using our experiences of life to just, express ourselves and try to, help each other, oh, yo, I thought about this might help you be better, this and that. That's just fire. And I like, that we got to talk about, that some people, this life is hard, bro. Some people are, born and they're dealt a bad hand, and sometimes, that bad hand can affect you for the rest of your life. It's really tough. Life is not easy for everybody. And like I already said before, like, if you really enjoy anything, I appreciate that, because I know life is hard. So if you enjoy something, you're enjoying life, you're happy. I'm enjoying it too, because I love to see happy people. So I think that, the whole reason I'm saying all this shit is just that it's life is hard, but I think that what Bobby's gonna say next is gonna be important, because you're dealt about a bad hand, but sometimes you just gotta take that shit and be like, all right, yo, let me see if I can better my life. Yeah. And then then you can actually get moving, bro. If you stop being the victim and you start being yourself and be like, all right, this is what it's got to be.
Thanks.
That's my messy moment.
Yeah, my messy moment. Salute to both of y'all again.
Thank you, bro.
Is like I said, just for people to take accountability for the actions. Like when we're talking about, part of the show, how do you guys link in or tap in with other guests and what have you? So take actions versus the words and how we deliver things. And I think also just us taking actions and responsibilities for being better human beings out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can do just a little bit, and sometimes it changes somebody's trajectory of their day. You go out here, you can inspire, you can be water, you can be sunlight to somebody, and it can change the trajectory of their life. And they're like, yo, you know what, that moment really changed me in my life. It helped me see things different. So hoarding knowledge and holding on to knowledge doesn't do anybody any good. So the knowledge that we have, we should be more than willing to share with people, help them along their way. If they're young, we know that they need guidance. If they're old, we know that they need guidance. Not everybody's gonna know how to open a PDF or do an Excel sheet. help that person. But the same thing with the young people, they need help too. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be afraid to share knowledge and try to help get to that utopian place that you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that's a big part of it. So, you know, I really enjoyed the conversation. Like you said, I think we covered a lot of bases here. But I just would, you know, if people don't look at therapy or talking to somebody as like a negative, you know what I'm saying? Go out here and heal your traumas, get out of your own way, realize that life's a roller coaster. The ups and downs are gonna come. Just don't stay down too long. Get out of your way so that that train can get back up.
Boom.
That's beautiful, bro.
Beautiful shit, bro.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
I thought you were rapping on no bullshit, bro. I thought you were freestyling.
Bro,
Just
beautiful,
do it,
bro.
bro.
Yo, oh man, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you gotta go to the Western Front, 121 Webster Ave in Chelsea, Massachusetts. I'm telling you, it's the place
Come
to
check
be.
us out.
Marvin Gilmore.
Yup,
bro.
shout out to
Check
Mr.
us
Marvin
out.
Gilmore on the shirts, you know what I mean? Shout out to the Western Front on the sweater. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's been awesome. And what else? What else am I missing?
It's the sad time of the show.
It's the saddest time of the show,
It's the saddest
man.
time of the
Oh
show.
man, ladies
It's
and gentlemen,
the end of the show.
it's the end of the show. It's the time when we start crying, bro. We grab the tissues.
It's
you know
it's
what
the
I mean?
time where you like, subscribe, and comment some great shit.
Yeah, and yeah,
And then check you later.
check you later.
Right here, you guys say that shit too.
Peace. Check y'all later.
Hey, that's the show.